the executive producer here, and I've got a few pre-show notes for you. First, a reminder. All of the content we produce is available on our website at finalshowfilms.com, as well as youtube.com/Senstaku, senstaku.podbean.com, twitch.tv/Senstaku, and on iTunes. We are only able to do the things we do thanks to the kind support of our Patreon donors. We give a special shout out to our $25 tier supporters, Antitonic and Cat Waterflame. If you'd like to support us that way, be sure to check it out. Secondly, a thank you to the folks over at 411mania.com. They produce articles and content related to wrestling, MMA, movies, music, and gaming. Go check them out. We appreciate their support as well. And lastly, be sure to subscribe, comment, and rate, if possible, wherever you listen to or watch our content. It helps us know what you like, what you don't like, and helps us make more content. Feedback is always appreciated. With all that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy.
And hello there! Hey everybody, and welcome back to Units Adjusting the Camera.
Yes, your mic is on.
Your mic is definitely on because it's way up in the air, out of your reach.
I can't reach it.
Where Holly can't make out with it.
That was our only concern.
It was number one.
It was number one priority.
They're really mean that they won't let me make out with microphones.
Alright.
Mostly because the microphone
Really
is...
tempting to attempt this.
Mostly because the microphone is incapable of consenting, and you have the power. You have all the power over it, so it's really not a healthy relationship.
I'm fine with that.
Moving on.
So on my left we have...
I'm John, and I'm playing Galadir Alunai, the High Elven Wizard.
On his left...
I'm Holly, and I'm playing Tarell, the human shifter bard who has her son with her.
On my right we have...
Somebody else. I'm Stan. I'm playing Duncan, the half-orc fighter.
On my far left...
Hi, I'm William, and I'm playing Clanless Faust, Dragonborn Warlock.
And when we last left, these four individuals were sleeping in a magnificent mansion. The most magnificent mansion that e'er you did see.
Certainly trancing at the very least.
Yes. Resting in whichever format you desire to rest.
I think two of us were asleep.
One of you doesn't have to sleep. Because of he drew a card off of a deck.
So technically, four of us were asleep because your child and
his ward.
Yeah,
because the chillins got to sleep.
The other
That's
two of us,
true.
I think, were like just doing something in a magical lab or something.
So we were inspecting our magical relic.
Yes,
Oh, great magical relic.
we were inspecting things.
Yes, you were playing with a stick.
Yes, a magic stick.
With a stick.
A very magical stick. And on my middle right,
I'm Zach, and I'm playing Yitarasu, the Goliath Paladin of the Ancients, who is public enemy number one, apparently.
you're pretty high up there. And joining us today, we have on my furthest right.
Hey, I'm Rudy. I'll be playing Caslin, the Deep Gnome Rogue.
Who we will be encountering before too terribly long. Do not concern yourselves. Nothing terrible will happen when you meet him.
He burrows into the mansion. How did you do that?
It's a gnome, bruh. Gnomes don't need geophysics.
This is an extraplanar space. There's
Gnome-
no ground under the floor.
Gnomes don't need geophysics. Alright. So, Yitarasu,
Oh, boy.
you take a step and fall out of a wardrobe
Narnia!
onto the floor.
No, that's into the wardrobe.
Oh. He was in Narnia.
He was in Narnia.
Okay.
You blink hazily. You feel odd. Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, hey, I can make those.
Does his paladin ability still apply currently?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a 25.
You feel dizzy, but you shake it off and stand up. You see a strange robot wiping down a desk. It seems to have been wiping the exact same spot for a long period of time because it's worn a small, like, dip into the desk.
What kind of a room is this?
It's the conference room.
Is it the spare room?
No.
It's a conference room.
No, it is not the spare
You are not King
The city of
Saria.
Wardrobe.
I'm afraid not. It is the tower in Daventry, and this is Gargin. And you're guessing that he was told to clean and then left alone for way too long.
I see. What time of day is it?
You're in an enclosed room with no windows, so best guess? No clue.
4:37.
I'm going to.
I'd let you use your internal clock, but your internal clock is super jank right now.
Yeah. I'm going to go downstairs just in case it's 3 in the morning.
You there, boy? What time is it?
You open the door.
I haven't missed it yet.
The door is locked from the outside.
I walk up to the robot and I try to ask it what time it is.
Good morning. It is 36 p.m. I'd like to clarify that
That doesn't make any sense.
time and hours, doesn't make sense in this world at all. Doesn't really make sense in the real world either, but hey, at least you tried.
It might make sense on premise.
Probably not, though.
There's 2
This is
doors
a
in this
broken
room. One that goes up and one that goes down.
No, there's a
It
door
is
leading out of the
specifically
room,
Not broken.
Oh, and that door's locked.
and that door's locked from the outside.
Break down the walls.
I mean, yes, but I'm awful
Break
good.
down the wall.
Yeah, smashing the state, not something you do as a lawful good paladin, typically.
And I can't exactly pick any locks, so.
You can try.
Cast the knock spell. Oh wait.
It turns out they don't give, like, thieving spells to paladins for
I
some
know,
strangers, and there's not on the list.
They give them to wizards though.
I mean, gosh.
I mean, there is the the oath of treachery, but
Does Misty Step have to be to a point you can see? I
Yes.
forget.
Yes.
So I can't Misty Step out of
It's
this room.
specifically to a point.
Unless I can see through a crack in the door.
I will let you attempt. However, what happened is entirely up to my determination.
Can I see through any kind of crack in the door?
Roll me investigation.
Can you see through the wall?
I really want you to try to Misty Step.
18.
you don't have dark vision.
Yeah, I mean, with the technology level at the time, they can't get a perfect seal, so you can find a crack.
Worth noting, he does not currently have dark vision. So
Yeah, but
Just
it's not
in case.
pitch black.
Yeah.
There is a low amount of lighting. You know, among other things, Gargin glows oddly, and there are windows in the hall on either end of it. So
Can I see an open enough space through this crack to cast Misty Step without, appearing within the space of something else?
without telefragging something.
you have a good % chance to.
Good % chance is never a good % chance.
A lawful good % chance or a chaotic good % chance?
Chaotic good % chance,
That's my
absolutely.
favorite kind of chance.
That is against my alignment.
That's what I thought.
I'll knock on the door. Is anyone there? I'll make this weird. Why not?
No.
Why, yes! You roll me a perception check.
Perception?
It's torn.
It's time you're dead.
Hello, I have an axe for you.
15.
You hear someone gasp slightly and almost drop something. Hello?
Yes. Hello? I seem to have appeared here. It's really actually a long story.
I seem to
Is
have
this-
operated.
Is this the robot's fault again?
I hope not. I would assume it isn't.
I need to go get Master Tanar.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
I'll be right back. You hear hurried footsteps run upstairs. Roll me a perception check.
You don't hear them come back.
Yeah.
You hear an explosion. The tower's under
19.
attack.
You hear a knocking on a door above you, and you hear a very annoyed voice. We locked the robot into that room for a very specific reason. What do you mean there's a person in there? Do you have any idea what time it is?
36.
I'm
Face
guessing
comes
it's
to the
not
floor, comes to the roof ceiling above you.
If it's Elrin. You hear footsteps coming down the
It
door.
would be better if he had an octopus stuck to his arm.
You hear a click and the door opens, and you see a very annoyed-looking Tanar standing there. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to explain how you got in this room.
Point.
I point to the wardrobe. I seem to have fallen out of that wardrobe, and honestly, I probably can't produce a better explanation than that. Divine intervention is really the best explanation I can give here. I'm not sure exactly what happened either.
Paladins won't get that spell.
It's not a spell.
Do I need to
It's an ability.
You can give a report in the morning. What's your name? Olaf, sir? Olaf. Oh, fine. Take him to a room. Yes, sir, he says, and bows slightly and
Yes, no.
motions with his arm.
And the android escapes.
You notice Garjin is still polishing that table.
Okay.
Tanar just looks over. There's going to be a hole in that table one day. There's going to be a hole in that table. Melodius is paying for it with his own money. It's fine. It's fine.
Honestly, it's going to be a hole in that table the size of someone's forehead eventually.
Get out of the room so I can lock it back up.
Yes, I.
He closes the door and locks it, and then walks upstairs without saying anything else. The servant looks at you. We have a room for you?
Thank you. Seeing as I appeared quite unexpectedly, what day is it exactly?
This is overpowering.
What do you mean, what day?
Wait, how do they measure time exactly?
It's seasons.
It's just seasons?
Yeah.
Paladin with his time measurement.
Whatever. I've
Trying to figure out
been to
how
other worlds,
Worried
alright?
about this before.
It runs off of a lunar calendar.
Right.
So
What moon is this?
it's
Yeah.
the moon
Take a look at
is
the moon out the window.
waning. Just started.
How does that line up with when...
Well, it was a full moon.
vanished.
Was it 4 days?
Ago.
It had been a full moon 4 days ago. You remember very, very, very specifically that it had been a full moon 4 days ago. Stuff that
That's
happened.
Because of the
That's
tree.
when you made a tree.
Right.
And took
When
care of
I
all the
almost
things
died.
you guys were trying to take care of, but they're killing everything.
So that would match up. It's probably the same day or
Alright.
night.
Cool. And... Because what time of day was it when I sort of vanished? Wait, no, we were in a cave.
You were in a cave and you'd been in there for a while. It was probably getting on evening
Okay.
because you'd gone straight there without resting.
I suppose I'll wait until morning then. Try to compose myself. I'll proceed to where he leads me to the room.
He leads you to a room. It's a nice room. It clearly was not intended for someone of your size. It does not have it's got a nightshirt that's a very nice one, but sized for someone much smaller than you. But it has a nice bed.
Okay.
You rest for the night.
Yeah.
You were feeling kind of rough. It's been a long yes. So you sleep. You wake up in the morning to a knock at the door. A different servant has brought a plate of food for you.
Thank you. I'll take it.
There's a scrap of parchment sitting on it that has weird symbols marked on it.
For once, I'm almost wishing Faust was here. I don't have any kind of... I try to recall if I have any kind of language comprehension spells, but I don't. Wait,
You don't comprehend language?
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
I do not.
Okay.
Paladins don't get that.
No. It's just a scrap
I know
with
clerics do, but I don't.
some scrawlings on it. Do you eat breakfast?
Actually,
Or do you...
if the servant hasn't walked away, I'll ask him. Excuse me. Sorry, I'll ask her. Excuse me, do you know what this is?
Oh, Melodious put it on there. I presumed you would know what it means.
I see. I'll have to ask him about it.
I didn't know Melodious was literate.
Melodious is. You saw him writing a note. He speaks Gnomish fluently.
I didn't.
Oh, you did. The rest of the party knows. The rest of the party has seen. You've seen Melodious doing this before, and you recognize from the island that this is a weird. This is the Gnomish language,
Mm-hmm.
but you have no clue what it
I
means.
know how to read it.
Yeah.
Right. I really hope this wasn't organizing some kind of a time of day when he wanted me to explain my whole story. I'll suppose I'll eat my food and see if he shows up sometime within the next short while.
All right. After a little bit, there's a knock on the door.
I open the door.
Melodious is standing there, full regalia, cape, all that. Well, good to see you again. I hadn't expected to see you quite so soon. So tell me, how goes everything?
Well, it's been a long while. I nearly got mauled to death by lycanthropes. I killed a lich. All those good things.
Quite eventful. Where's the rest of the group?
Well, I'm afraid I'm not sure. You see, well, the short version is that we went into some kind of crypt and killed a lich. And when I killed the lich, I vanished and appeared here.
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, you must tell me all about it, but first I suppose it is important to stop the world from being lit on fire. So, do you know where they will have, your group will have regathered?
Where was that? What was the name of the large trading city?
Shapier.
They'd probably be at Shapier.
It's not far from here. You have a mount, yes?
Yes.
Good.
I can summon a mouse.
Good, good. We'll want to make sure you get down there as quickly as possible. Guardian, accompany him. Dangerous to travel the roads alone right now, especially being who you are.
Guardian. Oh, great.
The machine opens up the wardrobe it was staying in. The one you fell out of. It's a good thing that it wasn't there when you fell out. You're not sure what would have happened.
Califrag!
It walks out. Initiating stalking mode. It pulls a pair of odd weapon-like things off of its back. No, Guardian. Escort! Yeah, you ought to do exactly what this individual tells you.
Exactly.
Not comprehending. Transfer authority to Yi Terasu. Authority transferred. Authority.
How exactly do I run this thing?
Just tell it to do things. And be very literal.
Yes.
Very literal.
Right.
And don't expect it to do anything else until you tell it to do something else. He says, looking over at... oh, you're not in the room, but looking over at the robot.
I see.
Thinking about a table.
Thinking about a table, yes.
They're, totally just looking for an excuse to... So what do I do when I've arrived? Exactly? How do I send this thing back?
Oh, he knows where I live. Just tell him he knows that this location is home.
Right, just go tell him to go home when I have...
Command issued. Go
Please.
home. No.
Wait. Wait.
Stop.
Cancel command?
Yes. No, you're getting the hang of it.
Right.
Also, he's always listening.
He keeps going off to the right.
I see. Well then, I suppose...
You can't turn your Siri off.
You don't know how to turn your Siri off.
He will be very helpful. He's quite good in a pinch. I assure you.
I see.
Command pinch.
Don't give it any ideas. I don't know what kind of range it has.
Well, it's an extra-dimensional being, so...
Could pick some random radio waves. It's watching the stream right now.
Suppose I have to be heading off sooner than later.
Yes. Before we go, but while you're here, you said that you killed the Lich. Could you tell us what progress you're on, perchance?
Wait, what?
What progress you've made?
Well, it was, let's just say, Faust will not be happy with me. In the slightest.
Guardian, do not accept commands from Faust.
Oh, don't worry. He doesn't need to.
In fact, I'd rather you don't accept commands from anyone unless I explicitly tell you that that person is trustworthy.
Guardian, override all commands except those coming from Yitarasu, Tanar, and myself. Query, orange. I think that means yes, but I could be wrong.
I'm going to assume it means yes. I won't go through the headache of presuming the alternatives.
Well, can I get anything for you before you leave?
I'm trying to think of what exactly I need, other than a whole lot of luck.
A teleportation spell.
You've got Guardian now.
I do have guard.
He will do exactly what you tell him to do. This could not go wrong in any way, shape, or form.
Oh boy.
We might have to kill Guardian.
Okay, so we're gonna have to kill Paladin and a robot?
Yeah. I mean, we'll have to kill Guardian just out of habit. Like this. Guardian, stop. Guardian. Okay.
Well, I would actually like to ask. I pull up the paper that he wrote on. I hope this wasn't terribly important. I'm afraid
apologize.
can't read.
When I heard you were here, I assumed the rest of your group was, and from what I understand, the dragon thing does read.
Yes.
The dragon thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he likes to be called the dragon.
The dragon thing.
He's not here.
The dragon thing doesn't read anymore.
Oh no, I still read.
He reads Dwarvish, though, not Gnomish.
Yeah, I don't have the ability to read everything right now.
I do.
Regardless, it was merely letting you know that I would come down and see you after breakfast had been served to you. But you found out anyway.
Yes, it would seem I did.
So.
I suppose I should be heading off as soon as I can, though I would ask, what exactly has been the state of things since the Emperor?
We've been announcing it discreetly to certain groups. We've been forming a new government, arranged of a council. It's, again, derived from the gnomish manner of authority. It's called a republic.
I see.
We're waiting until we have the government fully assembled before we announce it to the masses.
Good plan.
It's the idea.
The problem is republics never work. They always fail after a few hundred years.
That would be every governmental system.
We need to find one that lasts for longer than a few hundred years.
So,
Just have to educate the masses.
Let's not make this political. Let's not make this political.
no, I think everybody can agree
No,
that
that's
it's a,
universal. That's not political.
educate
yeah.
the masses.
Yes, but let's stop it while we're still saying things that everyone agrees with.
So, what you doing?
I mean, the sooner I see exactly what has happened to my group of
Comrades.
comrades,
Friends
yes,
is a strong
adventurers,
word.
Compatriots. Comrades. Hey, comrade has appeared. Hello, welcome.
No, the summon comrade spell has not been cast yet.
I will cast that spell. Summon.
It's a
comrade.
9th level spell.
Amazing. Summon comrade wherever you are.
It's just this. It's just this big Russian barbarian. Just hello.
Also, how fast is Garjin?
Oh, he won't slow you down, I assure you.
Dragonborn in this setting.
Good to know. Well,
What kind of mount can you summon?
I can summon just regular.
And any land-based mount you want.
Yeah, I'll probably just be boring and summon a horse or something.
Okay.
So
No one's sure.
I suppose I must be off.
No one's ever seen one of them come back home.
All right.
I wish you luck in your endeavor of creating a new government.
I wish you luck in your endeavor of placating your group.
Placating, yes.
Yes, it will. Might take more than luck. We'll see.
Don't worry, you've got
proceed.
you've got an inside map. Well, elf.
An inside elf.
Yes. It's like an elf on a shelf, but way more dangerous.
No, it's like an elf on a shelf. Elf on a shelf that constantly has finger of death ready to kill you.
So way more dangerous.
Yes.
Yeah,
His statement stands.
I will proceed towards.
Also, not finger of death, disintegrate.
Thanks. That reassures me so much.
You summon your mountain
I'm
right
a
on.
transmutation wizard, not a necromancer.
Yep.
All right. You're riding.
I will head off towards.
All right. You ride. You find that Garjin is walking at a very steady pace, and you quickly outpace him, and then suddenly he's next to you.
Oh
And then
no!
you walk at a pace, and then suddenly he's next to you.
He's like a video game.
He's a Bethesda. He's a Bethesda ally.
Yes. Like he's just like spontaneously casting Misty Step every time you outpace him.
Dragonborn.
I'm a Goliath, not a
It's unnerving for about the first hour, and then after that, you just sort of get used to it.
Can you just offload your pack into his inventory?
You don't want to let him carry your stuff. You don't know what'll happen to it.
Yeah.
All right, you travel.
I will gladly carry 3 shields myself instead of having him carry one of them.
You travel the day.
Oh yeah, because I have 3 shields now.
You rest the night.
Ye 3 shields, Karasu.
You travel. You travel the next day. You set up camp for the night, and now we're about the same time because you guys teleported most of the way home.
We teleported the road.
So that night,
It worked.
when the moon is just is almost going down, you roll a perception check.
It's invisible. The door is invisible when shut.
Yeah, he's not in shape here.
Okay.
He's just outside shape here.
He's finding a
20.
You wake up. Do you have a tent, or are you just under the stars?
I'm a paladin of the ancients. I'm just under the stars.
You wake up because the light's wrong. It's not that nice moonlight. There's a flickering red light.
Divine sense?
Nothing in range, but as you look around, you know that town you're going to?
It's on fire.
Wait, what?
It's on fire.
Shape here is on fire.
We didn't do
Like, not just on fire, like, the earth itself is burning.
It's a good thing we're in the mesh.
The earth itself is burning.
We're safe.
Yes.
For
have 24 hours to
Yeah.
get you out.
It was going
I
to
don't
take
think
you
I-
a few hours to ride there at a calm pace, but if you book it, you could probably get there in an hour.
I want to get there and see what's going on.
All right. Summon your horse.
Yeah.
All right. You are riding into town. Let's
And
try.
magic.
I'm
You're
assuming
not
this
anywhere
fire is
near
magical?
range.
Okay.
I think magic's 30-foot range.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Said
be close
riding
to
into
things.
town, but oh well.
Well, it'll take you a bit to get
detect
there.
your steed.
And with this group, you're all sleeping. You all wake up in the mansion. What do you-
That's late.
Yes, well,
Well.
you're all in the mansion in the morning.
If we're good to go, I believe our next step should be determining information regarding the Dark Elf homelands to retrieve the jewel, I believe. Does anybody have any inclination as to how to do that?
Well,
Could ask the Divinus again, but they don't like to be asked the same question more than once.
Drow also keep quite an amount of conference with various demons. With enough interrogation, one of them could be persuaded to speak.
I find that's a little bit not as trustworthy as your own eyes.
True, but also, unless you wish to simply travel there with no forewarning.
You could scout. Reconnaissance, I believe, is a tactic.
It is, but with what scout?
Ourselves.
That's not scouting at that point. That's simply traveling with no forewarning.
Let's do it. Sounds good to me. I pull my sword out and start walking.
We can return to Daventry.
A scout, you see, is someone who ranges ahead of the main body of your force.
Well,
A sacrifice, in other words.
Indeed.
it's too bad he died then.
Oh, you're still gonna
keep
Nonetheless, we should probably.
This is the second time you guys have just assumed that I died. Come on.
No,
No.
I said he was dead.
He's probably dead.
You said he was probably dead.
He might be alive, but
Okay.
energy doesn't just go away like that without catastrophic consequences.
Okay.
It's like
Alright.
basically my statement was wherever he went is gone now, along with him.
Well, who do we wish to sacrifice?
That's a question for later. But for now, we should probably see about.
You return to Daventry.
Yes, that might be the next step. And I go to the door and open it. Everything's on fire.
Alright.
And we step in there and
So-
We all step out for the door.
You open the door and the temperature goes up about 10 degrees, and yes, everything's on fire.
That's interesting. Shut the door.
Let's wait till it burns out.
That is the best response, actually. What's going on?
Everything's on fire.
No, I sit down.
Well,
the entire world?
Shape here is on fire at the very least.
Looks like we
the
failed.
world. I reach into my robe and pull out the staff. The world's not on fire yet. Put it back in.
The ship here is on fire.
I mean, I can probably assist with that.
I mean,
Putting out
would you like to take a look?
Yes, please.
Open the door.
Look at. What do I
Um,
see? Like other than fire.
so there's a lot of fire, and there's a lot of smoke, so it's hard to see, so roll me a perception check. Unless you have a way to see through smoke.
I'll take a look too.
It's a 9. So
There's a lot of smoke.
I don't. Hang on. My perception is not bad.
Oh, that's right.
24.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant it was a 9 total.
No, it's a 9 on the roll. My passive perception is 23. So.
Oh, goodness. Well, yeah. Then what the two of you see is you see, making out through the smoke, you
22
see...
would be your roll. Yeah.
No, 9 plus 8, so 17.
Yeah, you're right.
Good
You
roll.
deserve it.
Yep.
For a place where the majority of buildings were made out of wood, light materials, woods, tents, that sort of thing, nothing is left standing. There are screams. There are clearly people still out there, and you see in the air a dragon swooping down and with just jets of flame scorching the earth.
Close the door.
Time to slay a dragon. Oh man.
Well, it would appear that Dren did not take too kindly to us getting the staff.
All right.
Are you sure it's him?
Well, Dren is the only dragon that I know of that knows for certain that was trying to attempt to get the staff, and didn't get it. So I'm assuming it's him.
Is it a red dragon?
Was it a red dragon?
Red
It was
dragon
breathing
fire.
fire.
It was
red or gold. I don't think it was a gold dragon.
With the things you know, you can assume it was a red dragon. The lighting wasn't great, but
It's
logic dictates.
It's hard to tell, but I'm pretty certain it wasn't a gold dragon.
All right.
So we just stay in here until it burns out.
Well, we don't have that much time.
It's only been like 8 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, it's
I mean,
true.
we
We
got
can't.
another-
We have another. How many
10.
hours?
16.
We have another 16 hours. I can rest and rejigger my spells and probably have an effective way to get out of here without the fire. But as long as the dragon is up there breathing fire, it's hard to do anything.
What about the people in the city?
Unfortunately, there's not much that we can do without risking ourselves, so I think at this point it's wait the flames out.
I mean, we could help the people. That would be a noble and righteous
Let them come
endeavor.
into
Which means you're not going to do anything naturally.
right.
Unfortunately, I can't let them into the manor because I must designate who is able to enter when I cast the spell.
Right.
Also, how many of us, other than myself, have access to water or ice magic?
But I believe that would be you.
So we're at a disadvantage, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we are not dragon slayers. Though,
That?
do you?
Bring them down to my level?
Though I could theoretically, I would have to rest a reorganize my spell. I could theoretically drop the dragon to the ground, make it easier for you to attack it. But it's still a dragon. And did I see how big it was?
No.
But
But you see what it's done. It's not a wormling.
I've got all
very-
I got all my spell choices back, right?
At the very
I
least,
think I do, except for one of my cantrips.
There's a variety you don't have.
I think I don't have mending. And that's about it.
At the very least, we would have to wait another 8 hours or so
Right,
for me
yeah.
to. Well, another 4 hours technically for me to rejigger my spells.
Austin, is there an orphanage in the town?
Yes.
Ah, he was telling me all day he was going to burn an orphanage down.
You don't have.
Yeah.
Do you know there's an orphanage in town? Though, is the other question.
Oh no, I was just asking because all day Austin.
You don't have synaptic static, and you don't have negative energy field.
Flood.
Or flood.
Flood.
Do I have Dimension Door and Shadow Moil?
No.
Okay, so my check marks are correct. Okay.
You don't. Those are the four you don't have.
If you want to fight the dragon, I can certainly rearrange my spells, and we can to give us the optimal chance to defeat it. I will leave this up to you, though.
We should try to help some of the people.
What are we?
It'll
What,
take
what,
us-
what,
it-
what are we gonna do?
I'm-
We don't really have much.
I open the door and look out again. Do you see anyone that
So
you could...
to clarify, at this point,
Out of curiosity, really quick,
Run
because
anybody
technically
out.
you pick your spells at the beginning of the day. Are we still in the time frame where I could rearrange the spells I have prepared?
rearranging spells takes time.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why I'm.
right.
So
I need to rearrange like 3 spells.
it would take you an hour to rearrange them.
Okay, so if I could rearrange my spells in an hour.
At
We
this
can't
point,
do anything.
Gora
Mhm.
is coming down the stairs.
The door's closed.
Yes.
Also,
Is everything okay?
No, everything's on fire.
Face dropped several shades.
I've always been 100% honest with her.
Yeah, nope, you.
there was a dragon who was very angry about the fact that we acquired a staff.
So tell me, what would Gora's opinion of helping people be?
She's chaotic neutral. She helps the people that are very close to her.
Okay.
So
Okay, just checking.
No. Where is it? So, is there any, is Shapier on a lake or anything like that?
No, it's on the coast.
It's on the coast?
Yeah.
Oh.
she.
I mean, if we dragged it to the water, I could potentially summon a tidal wave to crush it.
What, the city?
No, the dragon.
Oh.
I mean, I could douse the fires in the city, not a problem. But while the dragon's there, it's sort of a moot point.
Yes.
Well, I will take an hour to rearrange my spells and let you decide amongst yourselves what to do in that time. And
I just kind of take a look out the door. Do you actually see anyone that could be aided?
I look out the door, do I?
We're going to come back to that.
Okay.
Woo! So,
Paladin, shut the door, let him burn.
Oh, look, the Paladin's here. Close.
Wait, he's useful!
you, as you're riding into you ride into town just as the sun's rays peek over the horizon. And you're going south. Okay, yeah. So you see a massive red dragon laying waste to the city. Roll me a perception check.
Oh boy. Maybe a 12.
I can't make you breathe ice, though.
Okay, you see a massive red dragon laying waste to the city.
Can I see anything like how old this dragon might be, or anything about?
Let's take a quick look at some knowledges.
Any dragon's breath. I can do it.
You can use nature or arcana.
I'll use nature and see what I can make out of this. Yeah. So close to a 20, but that was an 8. Whatever.
8?
Yeah.
Old.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not a wormling.
It's
I can tell from all the fire.
It's big enough that you don't want to mess with it. That's all you really need to
Come on, Quixote, tilt at that windmill.
I mean, it's big enough that I want to mess with it, but it's also big enough that I know I shouldn't. Probably.
You don't know a lot about dragons with an 8. You just know it's a big fire-breathing lizard. It's been a long time since you were around them.
True.
And you've never been around these dragons. Like you've never fought a dragon here.
Yeah. Either way, there's innocent civilians to be saved.
Yes.
So I'm gonna keep going.
Are you rushing in towards the dragon, or are you trying to corner down some civilians?
The dragon's flying?
Yes. The dragon is flying, but he makes really low strafing runs.
Mm-hmm.
You could... How far does Misty Step reach?
I could grapple this thing, couldn't I?
You could theoretically... It will drop low enough to be within reach of your Misty Step.
Because that's a 30-foot teleport.
Yeah. It gets to about 30 feet down.
Earthbound is a strength saving throw.
Mm-hmm. How much of the city is currently on fire?
Yes.
All of it? Pretty much all of it?
All of the central bit. Like, the outskirts are okay, but it's about the extent. Rudy.
Hello.
So you woke up to having a bad day this morning.
Your day was pretty shit yesterday. It got real worse today.
Yeah, you know, you're
talking about my character.
Your character.
Volcano's notes.
Shapier was a natural place to go. It's on the coast. You come in on your ship, and you know it's a cultural hub, a trading center between the Imperials and the natives, and all that sort of good stuff. And you get treated like garbage by a whole bunch of people who are mean to you, and then you stay at the inn, and then the inn catches on fire. And you look out the window. You've never seen a dragon before. You always assumed that they were just like the dinosaurs from your homeland. It's way worse. You really wish that thing was a T-Rex.
I'll leave my stone back.
Mm.
Actually, no, I won't.
So,
it's a fire now.
I appreciate it.
So what are you doing? There are screams and burning and fire everywhere.
Fire, though, so you have to wear the tails and the teeth
Mm.
and the claws.
Is the dragon close, or is it?
The dragon is circling overhead, just flying down and doing
What's your con score?
like strafing burning runs.
11.
Would you rather have proficiency in Constitution saving?
Probably
throws or
best to get
resistance
away from it.
All right. How are you going to get away from it? You notice that anytime somebody exits a building, it seems to target them.
Where's the
Fair.
fire escape?
It seems to be like it's burning buildings incidentally. It seems more focused on making sure there are no escape.
You'd like
I have 78 attacks.
I need to look up something about a spell.
You're the second squishiest cells.
Because I don't have the tough feat, which I should get at level 16, definitely.
Well, probably best to see if I can get downstairs. Find a good place to start digging.
There you go.
All right.
Dig a hole!
It's you rush downstairs. It looks like other people have likewise rushed downstairs. You see a group of people rush out the door and then fire.
Were they would-be adventurers that had like their arms and armors ready? They're like, get the dragon!
No, they were a ragtag group of foreigners who were running and screaming in a variety of languages and then no longer existed.
Sounds good. Oh look, skeletons. I need those.
Actually, hold on.
That's probably the best way to go.
It's like
That's the only flame proof material.
Skeletons are made of carbon and therefore flammable. There aren't even skeletons left.
There's just piles of ash.
piles of
Yeah.
ash. That's also a useful spell component.
Yeah, just whole
So, what you gonna do?
Also, we can drag it. All I have to do is like go to the coast and hold the
Yeah,
stick.
just
It'll
go
come to us.
and find.
Now, to clarify, this is one of the only stone buildings in town, so it is not yet on fire. The roof is on fire.
The roof. The
The
roof.
roof.
The
The roof is on fire.
Yes, that's what he said.
So,
Yeah, I'm just gonna go as far to the lowest floor I can find, and
there's a
cellar.
there's a cellar.
good.
Go into the cellar.
Yes.
Good place to start.
It has bare dirt walls.
Yay.
Start digging.
You go
Start
everywhere.
do you have any digging equipment or digging spells?
Of course.
I'm a gnome.
He digs with
As
his raw
a-
gnomeness.
As a paleontologist, you should have like.
He's not a paleontologist.
Sorry, Art.
He's an
Anthropologist.
anthropologist. They don't dig. They study cultures.
No, archaeologists dig. Anthropologists just tell them what they found.
Basically, it's like, hey, I found this rock.
It's not actually a rock. It's a tablet. There's writing on it.
It's like, oh, well, it just looks like scribbles. Yes, that's because it's a dead language.
I found this skull. I mean, it's an art piece, but okay. And then they get throttled.
Generally.
That's how the conversation goes.
So you just like there are like if you want to, you can just grab random stuff and you can just start going at it with whatever's at hand.
Yes.
You're a deep gnome. You know how to dig.
You find some wood and you just start having at the wall. Roll me in investigation and then Constitution.
Is that
Hold on. First investigation.
8.
Advantage because you are a deep gnome. So roll again and tell me what you get the second time. Unless it's worse.
10.
You're not really sure where to start digging because it's all loose dirt. So you start having at it. Roll me a d20.
Also, I can just leave and open the door till it
13.
up.
What's your Constitution?
10.
This is real tiring, real quick. You're not having a great time digging. All right, but you do still hear the screams from above. All right, Zachary, you ride into town. What you gonna do?
Oh, great. I really want to have to pull out a backup character before I even met up with the rest of the party.
Don't forget you've got Robot Buddy.
I know I've got Robot Buddy. You have Robot.
Tell the robot to kill the dragon.
Actually, you know what? If we really need to refresh the mansion, Wall of Force gives me enough time to like put the mansion back up again.
Yeah.
That robot looks pretty heavy, doesn't it?
Yes.
Oh.
And he dies.
Can
That's a
I?
good idea.
We broke the robot.
I don't have ways of teleporting other things. I can't say.
Zachary, what
Wait,
does
you
the
did
robot
teleport.
do every time you walk 10 feet away from it?
Tell him to jump on it.
Just say kill that dragon and see what happens.
You just
You may want to be more specific.
grab his head.
No.
Grab the dragon's
Kill
head.
that dragon.
Why the head? Grab the wing so it can't,
Oh yeah, whatever. Whatever's gonna bring it down.
It teleports itself. You don't have to worry about that part.
How far is the dragon right now, probably?
The dragon is just coming up out of a strafing run, so it's probably about 100 feet, and it's swirling around in the air.
All right. I'm going.
There's a few archers shooting at it. It doesn't care.
Gotcha.
Is there one guy with like a big black bow somewhere, just like trying to aim and not?
You wish.
What?
Bard is not here.
Hobbit.
How frequently has it been making strafing runs? Like every minute? Or...
About every 15 seconds.
Gotcha.
Like, this thing moves fast.
Oop, I think... Okay. I think I know how to deal with this thing. Okay. Guardian, next time it comes down for a strafing run, grab the red dragon's wing.
Guardian goes away.
Query, purple. It
Close
begins
enough for
marching
me.
off towards the dragon.
Kill.
What are you doing?
It grabs the wing. The dragon keeps flying. Guardian goes into the ocean.
I mean, you know, it would. Somebody would be happy with that outcome.
We're
I'm
gonna
sure.
solve a problem one way or another.
What are you doing while you instructed Guardian to do his thing?
overjoyed.
Guardian is now gone.
I'm actually basically going to kind of be following behind it
All right,
for a little bit.
roll me perception.
It's one thing to have a robot try to stop you from flying. It's another thing to have a robot and a giant try to stop you from flying simultaneously. Perception? 12.
Your only giant kin, sir.
You're not
All
actually
right.
a giant.
Close enough.
You
You're still medium sized.
the dragon comes down for a strafing run.
All right. Actually,
Shields up.
I would focus on not getting burnt to death right now.
so if I cast like one of the smite spells, would that trigger if I grappled something? Because it says the first time you hit with a melee weapon attack,
Grapple's not a weapon.
it doesn't
Yeah.
deal damage in this edition.
No.
Darn.
No, not the initial grapple. Once you grapple, you can start dealing damage, but it's not
Right.
not like 3-5.
Okay. Okay.
You can once grappled. You can divine smite with a knee to the groin, which really hurts. But
It is much harder on a dragon
it
because
is
that's
hard
all
on
internal.
dragon. Yeah.
Okay.
Kick to the dragon in the cloaca.
Is there anything nearby that is not made of wood that will vaporize instantaneously?
I mean, there's lots of things nearby, but what are you looking for specifically?
Something that I can take at least a little bit of cover under as I take full defensive and don't get vaporized instantaneously.
Your shields.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
Your shield on the most cover you have.
Do you have the shield master feat?
Do I have the shield master?
Yeah.
I don't have the shield master feat actually,
Why don't you have the shield master?
That sucks for you.
That's
because
like
there
the
are other
best
feats to take.
for somebody who uses nothing but shields. That should have been the first feat.
So
I mean, it's only so for me because, like, for instance, use the bonus action to shove someone with your shield part.
No,
is
the things that are
useless
important
on
are
me.
the deck saves that target only you. You add your shield bonus to.
But it's targeting only me.
And
This
when,
wasn't
and
targeting
when you
me.
get a deck save for half damage, like a fireball or a dragon's breath,
You
if
get
you succeed.
pseudo evasion.
If you succeed, you can use your reaction to evade.
Yeah, I know what the feat does.
Those are the important parts.
I've just taken a lot of good feats.
so there are a lot of good feats to be
There
fair.
are a lot of
So what are you doing?
Because, for instance, if I didn't take resilience, I probably would be a stone statue by now.
You honestly be a stone statue.
That's why I took resilience.
So what you doing?
Stand a little bit out of its path and try not to get vaporized.
All right.
But I'm also going to get ready as soon as it goes past.
Well, first things first, it comes in reach for Garjin. So Garjin pulls out those 4 strange weapon things, and
It's General Grievous.
let's fire.
Get guns.
I missed. Be careful moving that because that's holding the monitor up like that,
It is.
and the monitor's holding the camera up like that.
Cool.
Because we have a jank
Earthquake.
setup. That's
Jank
what
setup.
we do.
Earthquake.
I don't know why you wouldn't expect us to be jank about things. All right. One of them hits. Okay. 3 bolts from this thing latch onto the dragon with ropes, and it yanks. They make opposed strength checks. That's impressive. And Garjin roots itself into the ground, and this dragon crashes into the earth.
Excellent.
The dragon is not happy and spins to face this new threat.
Cool.
What are you doing?
So how far is it?
Right now, it's probably about 50 feet from you. It's right next to Garjin.
All right. Yeah, okay. I'm going to... I mean, this thing did just succeed on a strength check against Dragon. That's a good enough ally for this, right?
Sure. Try and twice.
The dragon may have rolled a natural 1 and Garjin may have rolled a natural 20.
You don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened, but...
It happened. It's down for a second. You may
I
have
can
to
survive 1 round if anything.
Oh, the dragon's gone.
We'll see.
I forgot my proficiency bonus went up this level.
It does.
It was 5.
Man.
By the way, your proficiency bonus goes up to 5 this level.
Oh.
So, what you doing?
That's why all my saves are.
Which means
Rounds are 6 seconds.
all of the
Yes, rounds are 6 seconds. So I'm going to...
And
And how far am I from Garjin?
That's why all my
You're about 50 feet back.
50 feet from both of them?
Yeah.
Jack Walters is
Okay.
'cause it's
Um,
down.
I'm going to
I remember it might have been
try to move around to flank this thing.
Are you on your horse? This thing is gigantic. You're not going to be able to get a good flank on it.
Jack
Really?
Walters is done.
Like you'd have to double move. You would basically, if you want to get a flank on it, you're not going to get an attack this round.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it everything?
That's
everything you
Yeah.
mentioned, yeah.
So you do so? Is that what you're doing? All right. As
And actually, I'm going to also.
Did you prove your saving? Okay.
I'm also going to cast Thunderous Smite. So just so I have that next round.
all right. So as you're moving, someone's going to cast a spell. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
That's right. Ancient dragons have spells too.
And that will be
10?
Interesting. What's your health?
What's my
was your health?
Shit, man, that's what I did.
hit point maximum is 100?
Skeleton of a paladin.
You've got 100 hit points.
Exactly 100.
Oh,
Yes.
man.
Well, you made a saving throw, so it's not power word kill.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The power word kill has no saving throw. It's just point, and if you have 100
All right.
hit points, you
I
die.
need
Yeah.
I need to roll some dice online.
Oh boy.
I don't have enough dice for this.
I mean, I've got a thing of dice over here if you want.
I'm rolling a lot of dice.
Dragon's breath is pretty.
This isn't Dragon's Breath.
He already expended his breath or his dive, right?
It's not. Why do you suck at this job, online dice roller?
Because it's an online dice roller. Universally, online dice rollers suck at their job.
Oh, hold on. I know a good one.
How many d6s are you rolling?
A number that is larger than 10.
I thought he was about to say they're not D6s.
No, when you're rolling more than 10 dice, it's d6s.
All right. What are the rules about instantly dying from an attack?
If you take negative your hit points, if you go down to negative your hit points, then you die.
All right, you take 149 damage.
149?
As meteors fly down from the
Meteor storm.
heavens and crash around you.
Yeah, so you're not dead. You're just at
Nice.
0.
You're now unconscious.
Nice.
But every time you take damage, it's a failed saving throw, and if it's a melee attack, it's an auto crit, which is 2 failed saving throws. So if the dragon hits you with its tail twice, you're dead. And if you're on fire, you're going to take a failed death saving throw every round until you put out.
John knows stuff.
I've DM'd 5e a lot.
Yeah,
I know how to kill players.
I'm very familiar with it.
I know how to kill players.
All right, so to clarify, so you've been hearing screams and smashing. You hear the loudest sound you have ever heard in your life, as though the moon itself had been pulled out of the sky and crashed into
I
the
don't have to
ground.
try to counterspell that anymore. So there's that.
Yeah.
So you want to know what you saw when you opened up the door and looked out?
Yeah.
You opened up right as the time to see meteors fly down from the sky and smash into some hapless individual.
Do I see that it's you?
No, you see only meteors.
We only see explosion.
Close the door, close the door, close the door!
He shuts the door.
Before the shockwave comes in.
Shuts the door. I understand. We should stay here.
Roll me.
Timing is everything.
It's like, click, we're staying inside.
It's all on the timing.
All right, Zach, roll me a death saving throw.
That's just flat up D20, nothing to add to it?
Yes.
Okay.
D20 beat a 10.
D20 beat a 10?
Actually, you do actually, correction, you add to the saving throw anything that affects all saving throws, which includes your Paladin aura.
Which includes my Paladin aura, which puts it at a flat 10. Nice.
So that's a success. Yes, because your paladin aura does not go away just because you're unconscious.
All right, roll me another death saving throw.
Want another death saving throw?
Beat a 10.
That's a 9.
That's a failure.
Roll me another death saving throw.
And that's a 20. Okay.
On the die.
No, that's an 18.
All right. Roll another death saving throw.
I was gonna have I finished reorders my spells yet?
No.
Okay.
You've just started.
And that's a 16. It's an 18.
All right. So you're not bleeding out.
You wake up in a D4 hours.
So let's find out how long that is. Okay. So you are furiously digging at this wall when you hear a sound of something coming down the cellar stairs.
I turn. I look. What it is? Who it is?
You see the strangest thing you have ever seen in your life. You see a giant, silvery, blocky thing with 4 arms and a pair of spindly legs that have no right to hold it up, walking down the stairs holding this giant in its arms.
Mondrones. They're fun.
It deposits it on the ground and looks at you quizzically.
As quizzically as a giant block with one eye can look.
No. It has a pair of eyes. It has 2 eyes.
It does have eyes?
Yeah. Modron's can have any number of eyes.
It's true. The art only has it as one, though.
It depends on what you're talking about, like a monodrone, a duodrone, a triodrone. Yeah. What you doing?
Who are you?
Unit. Addressed. Guardian.
What was that explosion? What was that loud noise?
Loud noise. Reverberation of vibration in reverberation.
That's wrong.
Wow, that's a very smart robot.
It's not a very smart robot.
It's not an AI.
This was the beta version.
It's the alpha version.
This was the
You
pre-alpha
don't want to know
version.
what the alpha version looked like.
What you got?
You notice that the giant seems to still be breathing,
Yeah, I was about to.
laying on the floor.
And also smoldering. Those are some 5th degree burns.
It's a combination of blunt impact.
Burn goes so
and
deep it burns your soul.
Yep.
it appears to be a combination of blunt impact and burns.
Do I need help?
Assistance granted.
That's Guardian saying, I helped.
Some help you gonna get from here.
You'll notice, by the way, that this thing appears like it also has become not insignificantly wounded. There's a lot of dings on it, and it's blackened. You have no way of telling how healthy it is, though.
Okay.
To clarify, the meteor swarm was centered on Guardian, not the Paladin.
Paladin was just also
The
there.
Paladin happened to be within 40 feet because he was trying to ride around to the dragon.
Well, I have no way to help your friend, but maybe we can get out of here. How good are you at digging?
Digging. Initiated. Its arms flop out and turn into two strange spirally things that it walks over and just starts walking through the earth, leaving an it-sized hole behind it.
Dirt flying off to the left and right.
Its other two arms reached out behind it, and so it's holding Yitarasu behind it as it's walking forward.
That works.
Follow the digging one.
Alright, so you're following it, right?
There's still people upstairs, right?
There's screaming going on out there, yeah.
You were jerks to me.
He'll fit in.
You're gonna fit in just fine.
Alright, so you walk for a while.
If they're smart enough to get underground, then they'll find it themselves.
So an hour later, you've gotten everything figured out. You let go of your memory. You let go of your crystal.
Well, my spells have been reorganized. I go and peer out the door. Still on fire?
Still on fire, but the screaming appears to have subsided.
Is there still a dragon out
Is
there?
there still, yes.
No.
I'm gonna walk
The
out.
dragon's gone.
I'm gonna walk out and look for the dragon.
Is the fire still there?
Yes.
Still smoldering.
That I can
Everything's
fix.
pretty well burnt to the ground.
Everything is pretty well burnt to the ground, and the ground's on fire.
How close are we to the coast? Where did we set up shop? We set up shop like outside by the stump, so
You're probably a mile from the coast.
is there a well nearby?
There are several wells.
Okay. I go to the nearest one and I cast wait, did I not select that? Yes, I meant to select that. Let me fix that. Sorry. Hang on. I cast control water.
Okay.
What did I click instead of control water?
You cast control water and start feeding the flames water.
Yes.
Okay, so you're putting out fires.
Yes.
What are the rest of you doing? You said you're wandering about town?
Yeah, I'm just looking around for
What are you doing?
anything happening.
Josh just kind of looks out the door. Quite a lot of effort, but to no avail, if that was Dren.
Well, he killed a lot of people.
He didn't get what he wanted, though.
No.
Ooh. How
I
far
think
away
he
are we
was
from
having attention.
the water?
About a mile.
Okay.
My,
My range is
what a
300
temper.
feet. But
Yeah, not even close.
actually, does the city go all the way to the water?
The road does. I mean, there's a dock. There are some docks at the water, but the primary portion of the city that was burned was in the
Okay.
central area.
The
The docks are on fire too. If you want to go.
I'm gonna using the circlet put fly on myself, and still holding up control water. I'm gonna basically fly out towards the ocean, and cause a tidal wave.
Control water can't cause a tidal wave.
I will point you to this,
Hold on.
the flood section of control water.
What level spell is control water?
It is a 4th level spell.
Oh,
You cause the water
It's
level.
not a
All,
cantrip.
you cause the water of all standing water in the area to rise by as much as 20
flood. You
feet.
caused.
If the area includes the shore, the flooding water spills over on dry land. If you choose an area in a large body of water, you instead create a 20-foot tall wave that travels from one side of the area to the other and then crashes down.
That's in the body of water, though. From the
Yeah,
shore,
from
you just
the
make
shore,
it
yeah.
flood over.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
you can float over the shore a little bit. Like it'll help in the coastal areas. It'll also take you about 15 minutes to get over to.
Oh, never mind then. I'll just
The coast.
I'll just keep using the well water then.
Yeah.
Pulling water out of the wells and throwing it at the fire.
Yeah, you throw water and it'll do its bit. It just takes a little bit of time.
I am the walking fire hydrant.
So The two of you.
I think we're mostly just standing in the door and observing.
All right. So Duncan,
Can't do anything.
after walking around a bit, you
I mean,
find
Not easily. I could
A-
make bodies.
very intricate laying out of what appears to be flesh. Roll me a d20.
You could come out and keep
That
me
is a
under
six.
guard in
That's a
case the
six.
dragon comes back.
What's your intelligence?
I'm kind of focusing on
10.
Do
something.
you call that out to them?
Yes.
All right. So these bodies clearly are laid out in some sort of meaning, the way that the flesh has been done.
Also dies.
But it's weird. So the flesh has been perfectly removed from the bodies and joined together, and you can't even find the seams. They're so well joined, and they're shaped into very intricate patterns.
Can the children stay here?
No, absolutely.
It's also completely unburnt.
And it's just laying out in the street, kind of.
Yeah, like middle of town square.
Like what kind of? I mean, humanoid figures.
Flesh,
Just
flesh.
Different types
There's
of flesh.
the only way you can tell that they're different pieces of flesh sewn together is because it'll just transition tones. But even the tones have been bleached down. Like they're all just sort of pale white,
Do they look like
almost
do they look
alabaster.
like the things we
Dead.
fought?
Is it
They
like,
do sort of.
Remember we fought those flesh golems on
Yeah,
the way
the
back
flesh
to
golems. Yeah. I mean,
We also know who
Oh.
makes them.
were they?
Yeah, that weird woman that we just met.
Oh yeah.
Stitcher.
So it seems like a flesh
Oh, great.
golem type
Is
thing
it kind of
almost,
like
or
the-
more like a.
It seems like someone just wanted to make pretty patterns in the dirt with skin.
I mean, is there a pulse or anything? Is it can I do a medicine check to see if it's alive?
Sure, roll a medicine check.
See
Do
if
the
it's
bits
alive
of flesh
type
have a
things.
pulse?
12.
Yes, it does.
Ooh.
It does.
It has a pulse.
Stab it.
I'm thinking like that might be an idea. Carve it up a little bit, make sure it doesn't do anything strange, because I don't like those things.
They did hurt you a lot.
I mean, yeah, I'm just gonna
Make
put
sure they're
it,
dead.
put it out of my misery.
All right. It's not moving, so you can just do how much. Like, are you annihilating it from the face of the earth, or are you just stop hitting it until it stops pulsing?
I'm just gonna. Let's all get rid of it because seems like that silly people can
Full
bring
round
that
of
kind of thing
attacks.
back. I'm just gonna go ahead. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and beat on it. Just practice.
All right, just tell me when you want to stop. Like you can beat it into like a
Okay.
bloody pulp.
Yeah.
You can move it past that until there's nothing recognizable left.
Let's shred it.
Okay, you shred it.
Okay.
You probably see this at some point. You see him beating on this weird symbol on the ground that you didn't notice before.
Duncan, what is that?
Reminds me of a golem that I once knew.
Can I take a look at it before you destroy it entirely?
Boom. Evidently not.
Can I see what it is around him hitting it?
Roll me an intelligence check.
Is it under my
Under your intelligence, so don't roll a 20.
6.
This looks like dwarven hieroglyphs.
It's a message.
I'm sure it is.
It's for me.
Faust, can you read that?
Yeah, I look at it.
You walk out, you come over. Roll me. Let's see if it's whole enough to read by the time you get there. Oh yeah. It spells out in perfect hieroglyphics, down to like the calligraphy on the hieroglyphics. Like it's beautifully written, perfect handwriting. It spells out, "We can still burn the world the old-fashioned way."
I mean, yes, you can try.
What's it say?
It says they can still burn the world the old-fashioned way.
As I surmised, an angry dragon.
You're right, he has quite the temper.
You know, most dragons that I have interacted with would consider this childish.
It's a red dragon. Oh wait, you're from the other continent, aren't you?
Yeah.
This is exactly within the wheelhouse of what a red dragon would do if it was denied what it was wanted.
This, I'm not certain how dragons are in your world, but here, the reds are not the most petty, but some of the most petty.
Dragons are honorable where you're from.
Yeah.
And,
Even the evil dragons are lawful evil dragons.
Or they don't have to lawful evil, they just have a sense of honor.
Yeah.
red dragons are petty, blue dragons are haughty, white dragons are feral. There's a wide variety of things. So when you get into the chromatic colors, that's when they get to be more what you would reasonably assume above certain things, although the bronze are still very childish.
You mean metallic color? You said chromatic.
Sorry, metallic, yes. The bronze are sort of childish still, but that's what the brass. Brass and the bronze.
So you've been wandering for a while, and you can't hear anything anymore. What do? This robot's still walking.
Barge in, right?
Yes. You notice the ground is moist.
Go to the water. He's drinking another. It's gonna start getting wet pretty soon.
We're about to have a new well.
Might want to stop, Guardian.
Saltwater well.
Stop digging.
Ceasing. Its arms lower. It's standing there.
Question is,
Either that or he's digging into a well.
This unit, bored.
Board.
Oh no.
It takes its hands and hits them together, and sparks fly out. This unit, bored. This unit, bored. This unit, bored.
The water is gasoline.
This unit, bored. This unit, bored. It keeps doing that.
I'm sorry.
Apology unacceptable in present state. It turns around and starts walking out the tunnel.
Still carrying you.
Still carrying you.
That thing is still is that direction, you know. The giant flying, fire-breathing thing.
That unit identified as homogeneous liquid. These are homogeneous is not a word that you're aware of.
I don't know what that means.
This unit, idiot. It says, looking at you.
Thank you.
Homogeneous liquid is dense.
I just don't know.
It resumes walking.
Oh, was it referring to ye or was it referring to the gnome?
Best guess?
I mean, use the one that told it to buy a dragon. Oh.
Good start to coming over here.
So now you're in a tunnel and you have no way out, and the end of the tunnel starts dripping.
Go back the way you came.
You feel like you might not be any safer than you were in the town.
Yeah. After you figure out well, be too late.
After a while, I get bored.
Are you leaving the tunnel or are you staying there?
I'm going to start moving back because of the leaking.
Alright.
After a while, I get tired of waterbending and using animate objects. I animate a fleet of water buckets and just start having them do it.
You Sorcerer's Apprentice it up?
Exactly. Just
Alright.
Why am I doing manual labor? Buckets, you do it.
Alright.
Would I be able to figure out a better way to start digging?
Roll me a d20 and try to get under your intelligence.
John, can I borrow a d20? I got mine, and I don't want to. I think it went over there, and I don't want to mess with it.
Yeah, I came over.
Hang on.
I'll get it later. Maybe. Under intelligence. What if it matches it?
You make it, but barely. Your deep gnome senses are tingling. You strongly suspect that this tunnel is not that secure and will probably cave in as soon as water enters.
Alright. Gonna start moving. I'm gonna start heading the other way.
Alright.
So there goes that plan.
Alright, John. You're moving water around, you're moving water around, you're moving water around. All of a sudden, for some strange reason, roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Does the ground just collapse underneath or somewhere nearby?
22.
22? Alright.
Yes.
You see water start pouring out of the inn in the middle of the town. And roll me a perception check.
Well, that makes things easier. 13 on the dice, which plus 8 is 21.
You see a small gnome being washed out of the inn.
We see a Modron get washed out of the inn.
Modrons are too heavy for that nonsense.
We see a Goliath get washed out of the inn.
Modron has too strong of a grip for that to happen.
Well, he's gonna drown.
Okay.
I drop animate
We'll
objects.
trade a Goliath for a gnome.
Actually, I leave animate objects in the headband so it continues, and cast telekinesis and grab the gnome.
Alright, so you were having a bad day, and then it became a worse day. And at this point, it's just the water, the last few seconds, the water started rushing down, and you were trying to sprint out, and it just caught you. Thankfully, you were able to kind of roll with the water, and you just kind of got a little battered and spun around and deposited on the ground as a gush of water washes over you. You're very wet. And now you're floating in the air by some unseen
Make a
force.
strength saving throw.
Yeah, make a strength saving throw if you want to resist it.
You're probably better off in the air.
It's just if you're not proficient, it's just a d20 plus your strength modifier, or minus if your strength is less than 10.
Nope.
What'd you roll?
6.
Yeah. DC 18.
Which direction are you suspending this gnome?
Right side up, and then sort of bring it towards me.
Alright, so what do you look like?
Wet.
Yes. Just all he has is on is wet clothes now, but a leather vest, just regular just what's the color, light tan trousers, and he's got like you know something?
Yeah, there's a lot of hair. Like, even if they're bald on the top of their head, they've got a lot of hair on the face.
And like around the sides.
Multiple colors usually.
Sometimes.
Deep gnomes tend to have like very earth-toned hair that goes gray very quickly.
Yeah, they can be like white-haired.
Yeah.
They're the same colorization as drow.
It's more of like a gray though. It's less of a silvery, more of a gray.
Yeah. Dirty drow.
And yeah, that's about it.
So a high elf with sort of I've forgotten the color of my hair. It's like silvery blonde, like platinum blonde hair, and fairly pale skin, wearing sort of a very long blue, white, and gold robe with a staff in one hand. Currently surrounded by buckets that are pouring water out onto fires and then going to get more water and then pouring more water out on fires. You're just floating towards me right now. Hello there, my small friend.
Well, you guys make introductions to each other.
Tell me, what happened with you? Why is there water coming out of the inn?
Tunnel gone wrong.
A tunnel? Who was digging a tunnel under the inn?
Some giant metal thing in myself. I tried it first. I wasn't making much progress.
The giant metal. Where is this giant
Carrying
metal
another
thing?
giant.
Where is this giant metal thing carrying another giant?
I'm guessing still in the tunnel.
Put you down. Prestidigitation to dry your clothes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I walk past towards the end.
I mean, he's still got water pouring out of it.
I'm
so.
sure he'll be fine.
I'm just interested in what it is.
Okay.
We don't know that
True,
he's
we
there.
don't know. I'm sorry, we don't know.
Little thing carrying a giant.
Now that I don't have telekinesis up anymore, I cast control water again and part the water.
Well, first wait for the GM to get back.
Yeah. just like I walk up to this water pouring out of the inn, click, it starts flowing around me. It's like continue on in.
But the,
because Galadir gives no fucks.
You just deposited on the ground. You're just kind of standing next to a black dragonborn, which is just in very tall, very broad man made of scales and dragon flesh. This whole draconic face, rows of sharp teeth, and these angry yellow eyes. Wearing a robe of black, dark material with very red trim that just kind of suffuses smoke off of the sides and off of the edges of the outfit, with sort of this carved bone staff in his left hand, just looking down. You seem to have been through quite the predicament.
I guess the no,
Standing next to him is, she appears to be human, average height, long red hair, almost down to her waist, wearing a fairly elegant outfit of
Very elegant
reds,
outfit.
Yeah, reds and golds, with like a. I can't even remember the outfit that they gave him.
It was a lot of reds and golds.
It wasn't like a dress. It was like a.
No, it was like a jacket, I think.
Yeah.
It was like a very ornamental Japanese style.
Yeah, she doesn't wear dresses.
It was very practical.
Yes.
Oh no, correction. Fast-paced is more human than dragon. It's got like just kind of human covered in scales, kind of look.
And Duncan's there too.
There's a half orc, about 6'4", 240 pounds, with just brown clothing and brown skins, and underneath there's a scale mail made of like wood and amber chips, and the sword has it's like a real large bat with a bunch of metal and stone sticking out of it, essentially. And then he uses for a sword, and he has a shield.
So I went to the inn, after dropping telekinesis, I went to the inn and used control water to part the water coming out of the inn so I could walk in and see what's up with them. Apparently a metal giant carrying another giant.
So as you walk in, there is indeed it's Garjin.
Yeah, I've seen Garjin.
Holding Yitarasu, who has just woken up with a great amount of surprise because you got very wet. Everything hurts.
You're at 1 hit point.
Everything hurts.
And
I can lay on hands myself.
And
right?
now there's salt water in it.
I can lay on hands myself.
Yes.
yeah,
you
but
can.
there's salt water in all your 3rd degree burns right now.
That's okay. That's why.
I mean,
you lay
yeah,
on
but
hands.
I do have the ability to cure like ailments with
Yeah.
lay on hands, so I assume I'd be able to cure burns with that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's still salt water in your 3rd degree burns right now.
Yeah, it hurts a lot.
And Galadir is sort of standing over you. You were supposed to be dead.
Deja vu, I guess.
No. You vanished. You stopped existing.
And then I woke up in a wardrobe.
No, you don't understand. The amount of magical energy going through you at the time that you stopped existing meant that a mountain should have gone with you.
Well, then I'm glad I did. No, I'm glad it didn't. It wouldn't have fit in the wardrobe very well.
What happened to you?
Apparently, I disappeared in a burst of magical energy. And then I appeared in a wardrobe.
You didn't
As best I can tell, divine intervention.
You didn't disappear. You ceased existing. There's a very important difference there.
Not really.
For instance, and he sort of reaches over, grabs a cup, and dips it in the water. If I pour water out of this cup, the water disappears. What you did was, there was a cup full of water, and then suddenly the water wasn't there.
Well, you know magic. I imagine you would know how that sort of thing would work. My best guess would be divine intervention. I'm really not sure.
It's not at all how magic works, even divine magic.
Well, it happened. So something must have worked.
So you must not understand.
Yeah, no, that's why he's upset right now. Because you're breaking the rules.
Exactly.
DM's breaking the rules. What are you talking about?
Breaking the law.
Actually, no, Zachary's abiding exactly by the rules he was given.
You're breaking the rules. Well, at least you're alive. We could use you for our next task. You should probably heal yourself. Those burns look painful.
Astute observation. They are.
I turn and walk
Lay on hands.
Alright.
Lots and lots of lay on hands.
You have 5 times your level in lay on hands points.
Yeah, I have 6.
So,
I
level
did not
13.
pick the last level.
65? Are you going to go to 66 hit points?
I'm gonna go to 60 hit points. I want to save just a few of these.
Okay. Also, I almost forgot, Faust. Did you do your tarot reading?
Yes. What was my reading?
So you flip up for the day, and the image before you is that of a glowing moon overlooking the water and the land and a variety of animals. And you see a face in the moon, a very pale face, fair features, long, pale hair, and wearing this sort of a necklace with a single teardrop-shaped pearl on it. You feel an odd connection.
It's another out.
And you feel your book glow.
I open up the Book of Shadows.
Your Book of Ancient Secrets has fully restored all of its secrets.
Okay.
And you feel a strange sense from it. When you read the book, who's nearest you?
Probably
Probably
Torel.
me.
If it was in the morning, like...
If it was in the morning, it would have just been
It would've been-
Galadir, yeah.
me.
All right. You feel Galadir's emotions
Or lack thereof.
through the book. You sense. You were looking at the staff.
Yeah, so curiosity and
Yeah.
intense curiosity.
You feel this urge of learning, and you can see in your book the image of the staff and the way it's working, and his mind working out the staff as an image in your book.
My book can now detect thoughts.
For today.
Yeah.
For today, your book can detect.
Yes.
Yeah, like...
Do I recognize who this tarot is linked to?
Never met the person before.
Okay. And it doesn't seem like the mysterious, like, doll-faced woman.
Oh no.
Alright.
Fast forwarding back to the present.
Yeah, flash right to present.
I walk out of the inn. Yeteros is apparently alive.
I can fix that.
No, he's useful.
Vaguely.
He apparently survived something that should have killed him and everything in the nearby vicinity. I need to know how and what happened.
This unit helped.
Then we can kill them.
How did you help?
Bananas.
Do I know what he is? Like I don't have seen him before, but do I know what he is? Any idea?
Roll me religion with disadvantage.
It's definitely bananas.
That wasn't the question.
You don't know what bananas are. They're not native to this
Still an
continent.
answer.
17 plus 5 is 20.
22.
Two.
Disadvantage.
Oh, sorry, disadvantage. 12 plus 5 is 17.
Some sort of weird extraplanar thing. You suspect something from the plane of order and law, but clearly something's wrong with it.
The plane of law and order. Dun, dun.
No, that's the plane of terrible TV shows.
So,
It's been on for a long time.
That's a lot of different scums.
so,
That's why it's gotten to that plane.
are you staying in the building, or are you walking out of the NU?
I want to stay inside the building for a little bit and, you know, mend the various wounds.
All right.
Even beyond lay on hands. Just
You do see a random bucket floating by, dumping water on the fire, and then going back
and
somewhere.
it doesn't even surprise me.
What are you doing, Mr. Gnome?
Is the dragon still around?
The dragon's gone.
Stuff's still on fire, but the dragon's gone.
The fire is actually, by this point, been mostly put out.
Animated buckets work fast. Also, new water supply source. So,
Mm-hmm.
Well, seeing as how this group are the only ones that haven't been rude to me.
Just kind of staring at you right now.
You're staring at me.
Yep.
Yes.
So where do you come from?
What's the place called where I'm from?
Phoenicia.
Phoenicia.
Oh, yes, we've been there.
Yes, we've been all over.
I've been everywhere.
So where are you headed?
We are well traveled.
I'm here.
Do you have a name?
Yeah, but it's not here anymore. It's all burnt down.
Working on that.
Does that happen often here? I'm Kelson, by the way. Caslin, by the way.
Castle.
Kesslin.
I'm Tara.
Faust.
Galadir!
That's Duncan, I say, pointing to the half-orc.
Welcome to Survivors of a Dragon Attack.
What's the name? Kelson?
K-S-L-I-N.
Caslin.
Kesslin. Okay.
No, that doesn't happen very often. From what I surmise, at the very least, I would suspect there would be less villages if there were.
Fewer.
You're not here.
No.
And if you were, I would kill
No.
you for that.
It's been reduced to ash. Volumetrically less.
There's less
For
village, not
less
less villages. You can either say less village or fewer villages.
There are fewer villages.
Less fewer? That would be a double. Then we're trying to get a word. Anyway.
It's not a double negative, actually. It's just a no. There's not a specific rule for why that breaks grammar. It just doesn't work.
What was your question?
I didn't have a question. I was just like,
So,
He said welcome
So
to the
I start meandering around looking to see if there's anybody else. I mean, survivors and stuff, and what they're doing.
Yeah.
Are they?
All right. So,
With a very
looking around, go ahead and roll me investigation. It's not a hard roll.
Investigation.
So it's going to go closer to the
Well, it's a good thing it's not our
It's
good.
not
likely.
follow us.
I suspect
how
its
about a 4?
intention is to burn everything that it can find around us until it finds us and finds that staff.
You find nothing.
Because there's nothing around.
There's no bodies.
Nobody?
No bodies.
everything was
Very
taken
casual.
by the Stitcher lady.
Oh, yeah, right, because they were all. Oh.
If they
yeah,
weren't incinerated.
That's right. So everything's.
Well,
Okay, so I meander
Generally
through
speaking,
all
one
the
has to
stuff to see if there's any, like,
Ground it so that you can actually
swords and
assault it
knives and
then
things
kill
like
it without
that.
being reduced to cinders.
Just
So-
Unfortunately,
Daunting task.
in the Bronze Age, there's a lot of stone and wooden goods, and then most of the metals are metals with a low melting point.
Yeah.
There's ash and slag.
Slag.
Like, if you want to get if you want to get
So
raw good, there's a variety of raw metal goods.
I'll pick up a little bag full of stuff, I guess. Just to.
Just spit on it.
Yep.
Might be able to pound it into my sword somewhere.
right, well then. It seems we have a problem we need to solve.
Yes, this dragon attack is going to continue happening until it either burns everything or finds the staff.
Yes. And we don't want to find the staff. You there, you survived. Would you like to help us kill a dragon?
The thing that just destroyed this entire town.
Yes.
Most of it, yes.
Yes. It's fun, really. It'll be
It's
great.
alright, we're survivors.
Yeah.
I'm untouched.
So am I. I mean,
Yeah.
They look like they weren't even in a battle.
Yeah. I mean,
Why?
Mostly because it's going to keep doing this if somebody doesn't deal with it, and we're going to have to deal with it.
Going to try to burn the entire world, so eventually it will kill you.
I
Or
mean-
you could try to stop it.
I was just going to give the soft sell, but certainly we can do that.
I'm gonna. Yeah, I think we should just go ahead and give them the
Pearl's
whole,
really
whole story.
blunt.
Give them a bit of backstory of how we found all the.
Right, so here's the long and the short of it. First of all, that dragon, along with a collection of
Miscellaneous other beasts.
4.
Other individuals known as the Chaos Lotus.
I'm trying to remember the exact number.
How
I
far
have
is
it
the
down.
inn from where they're conversing, by the way?
More than we know of.
Not too terribly far.
Not terribly far.
Right about there.
Can I hear kind of what they're saying?
Roll me perception, but probably.
There are undoubtedly more than we know of.
Because he just came out
17.
there, so.
Yes.
Yes, and a collection of that dragon and a collection of others are attempting to destroy the world in fire and flame for one reason or another. Their actual reasons don't matter, only their methods, by which is destroying the world in fire and flame. They have collected a gem of some amount of magical power that we need to retrieve. None of us are very good at stealing things now. And also a staff through which was to be a conduit for the spell that would burn the world. We had the staff, I say, pulling it out and then putting it back in of my coat, which, again, you see, open my coat, there's nothing there. I reach in past the armpit, pull out a long staff that couldn't fit in the coat, hold it up, put it back in, and it's gone. We have a staff, which was to be the conduit of the spell. The gem is the power source. We still need to retrieve the power source, and in the process, murder a dragon, a porcelain woman, and a few others that are probably going to get in our way.
I don't expect you to have followed all of that. He actually doesn't know how to slow down for someone to listen.
I got most of it.
But it'll give you something to do until the end of the world.
This trip just keeps getting better and better.
Have you any level of magical aptitude?
A bit.
Well, it'll be quite useful.
There we go.
You can stop cowering in the inn now. They know you're here.
If I was going to kill you, I would have collapsed the inn on your forehead.
Who are you talking to?
I walk out of the inn.
Covered in bandages.
It would have been easy, looking at his state.
Oh, you survived.
The entire building, specifically on my forehead.
Yes.
Unfortunately, he is a
Divine
very good
sense.
survivor.
What do I get on him?
I mean,
Because I was able to sort of detect that he was the warlock bond before.
because it was to an undead thing. Like, he's powerful, but like you're not picking up anything inherently wrong with the world.
I start very meaningfully shuffling a deck of cards.
Do I? But I do detect that there is some kind of power there. Or
No, not really.
okay. So basically, I can't tell if he's formed a new pact or not.
No.
Okay.
He's not bonded himself to anything undead or demonic
Or Fae.
or aberrant. But he
Okay.
didn't. But he was never much of a cards person before, so.
Right.
Those aren't playing cards, I'm willing to bet.
No,
I mean, you could play with them technically, I guess.
not like
New
that.
patron?
New source of energy. I should thank you. You've actually made me more powerful.
As long as you're not actively aiding a lich.
Actively aiding and working in tandem with are not necessarily the same.
Actually, it's exactly the same.
No.
Sure.
We're working to our own goals separately that happen to be similar.
That wouldn't be working in tandem then. Working in tandem is working along
Tandem
the
is
side.
moving in the same direction.
But the parallel is moving.
No.
Tandem is moving in the same direction at the same time. Parallel is just having to move in the same direction.
Is this my life now?
Yes.
Yes.
And it'll continue being that way until I kill you.
Or I can.
We're not killing anyone. We have a world to stop from burning.
Not yet.
Specifically, a dragon that is trying to burn the world. By the
What's
way,
with the dragon, by the way?
that dragon is named Dren, who is part of an organization called the Chaos Lotus.
Yes.
Yes.
And he wants the staff. He didn't get it, so he decided to burn the city in response.
Great.
Yes, I wrote them all down.
How'd you get burned?
I just kind of glare at you for a minute.
Completely lack of anything on his face. That was not his first concern.
I just sort of motion to the various burnt ruins that are all around us.
Oh, did you materialize in a wardrobe here?
No, it was what was the name of the
Daventry.
Daventry.
It's
It
always
was back in
Daventry.
Daventry, back in the tower, actually.
How'd you get here then?
Yeah, so he's just standing there.
I rode here.
You rode it here and checked in at the inn and the dragon attacked?
The dragon was actively attacking when I got here.
And you rode into its fire. That is typical, actually.
Why would you ride into the dragon's maw?
Because he wanted to be a hero.
Did you not see the size of the dragon? Have you never seen a dragon?
Somehow. he's
I've seen
alive.
dragons. I've even fought dragons.
You've ridden dragons very recently.
Yes.
You didn't fight them though.
This was slightly more powerful than the average dragon. I didn't exactly know that this was apparently working for some shady organization attempting to destroy the world.
Your
Then again,
definitions
considering...
your definitions of slightly intrigue me, firstly. Regardless, the dragon attack is over. The city is more or less out of fire. We have a gem that we need to recover. And a dragon that we
Also, why are there no bodies? I can't imagine they were all completely vaporized.
Oh, likely the porcelain girl took them
Yeah,
for
we
robes.
ran into some little
Porcelain
girl that likes to knit things together.
One of
I go point to the little the little thing that I chopped up earlier.
the flesh sigil.
The little flesh signal.
I don't even bother to look.
That's aberrant.
That's aberrant.
One of these.
Not
chaos-
aberrant in the sense that it's an aberration creature type. Aberrant in the sense that like it's so offensive that it was done that it's just picking up anyway.
Like
Yes.
it picks
Yeah.
up as a source of aberrant nature, even though it's not actually a creature.
One of
Yeah.
the Chaos Lotus apparently likes to perfect things by ripping them apart and putting them back together. Or at least so we've assumed. We actually had that confirmed.
Well, that seems to be their handiwork, and they were the one near Dren, so...
But,
Not confirmed, but very
Ellen said she
likely.
was called Stitcher.
An educated
didn't he?
guess.
No.
No.
Okay,
How did
that's
you
in my
meet
head.
her exactly?
They were trying to get the staff from the evil gnome when we arrived.
I see.
She's odd.
We have the staff, by the way, so
I-
nobody else can
I
get it.
gathered.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I pulled it out with it again.
And now we're carrying an artifact capable of destroying the world.
Technically, it's just a portal. It by itself is not capable of destroying the world. It's simply
But
it's
They
it's
built it for
simply
the purpose of destroying
Yeah,
the world.
if
It's-
we destroyed
It's
it,
simply a
we'd never get hold of it.
pinhole between this world and another.
And if we carry it to them, they can obtain it from us,
Certainly, if they kill me,
or anybody else.
it's all my person.
Well, no, but still, they can get it from you.
Oh, yes, that's why you should all keep me from dying.
Not necessarily.
Well, to be as matter of fact as you often are, Galadir, it's simply that we must keep them from attaining your robe.
I brought
Right.
breakfast, says Garjan, walking up with a platter covered in chopped bits of wood and rock.
Good.
Thank you. Eat it.
You may have some.
Maybe there might be something more appetizing.
It begins banging the rock into its face.
I just let it continue.
It clearly didn't get that exclude all other orders.
Yeah.
Turns out that didn't work.
That's how
No,
start
you
giving it
have
orders.
an override. It doesn't exclude other orders, you can just override it.
Okay, good.
So, perhaps
What
we should.
next?
I believe we were thinking of returning to Daventry and seeing if we had gained any assistance there from the legacies now.
Elsewhere.
Unless anybody has a better plan. Although now with the dragon in the mix, we might.
What's
We should let them know what's going on.
We certainly should.
so?
World
What
War.
exactly is the next step of
Kill
saving the
Dren,
world?
kill Dren, retrieve the gem.
Yes, in that order.
Right.
Dren was the dragon.
Kill the dragon.
Well, you see, if we don't kill Dren, he will continue to ravage the countryside and burn everything in his path until he finds us.
I imagine I could likely lure him to us with the staff, but that'll be for when we're prepared. Still, let's return to
That would
that.
be that'd be easier if we set up a
Well,
trap.
though you said they were here because of Fenris,
Yes.
so hopefully they're not actively trapping us. Hopefully.
No.
Oaxaca, but yes.
He is Aguahawk.
Yes.
Fenris is Aguahawk. Yes. But yes, they were here because of Fenris, and they destroyed the village because Fenris didn't give them the staff, not because we had it and we're still here. But
Potentially both.
I mean, potentially, but
Do they? Yeah, I guess.
I don't think they
know
realized
that we
that
have
he
it.
had left. I imagine they didn't realize he had left.
But they do know that we have it
Yes,
because
they saw us.
Fenris, yeah.
Or
told
they
them to
they
get off.
left and
Right.
then it wasn't there, so the assumption was they
Also, by the way, just from a glance, did he ever complete his whole line everything with lead project?
I never actually started on it.
How would how would you know?
The coat seems
I'm just-
particularly heavy.
I'm just curious if I see like lead-plated
Well then,
box or anything.
if we're all agreed, we can go to Daventry. I can take us there now.
Can you take us there directly?
Yes, there's a teleportation circle.
Good.
Let's get the children first.
Yes.
There's a teleportation circle in Daventry, right? Yeah.
I walk over to a spot in the air, pull a door that wasn't there before open, step inside and close it, and the door disappears again.
I go in with you.
Yeah.
Oh, while they're getting the children. I eventually let the buckets die and stop doing things.
So all the people are pretty much gone out of this.
Oh, yeah.
It's no longer a city.
No.
Is there anybody left at all? Like people that were in buildings or anything? Like the people that were in the inn?
Nope.
Nothing.
The stonework has partially melted.
Ah.
It's pretty hot.
Congratulations, digging that tunnel saved you. Actually, Gaudi will remark, curious that you survived in the inn when nobody else did.
Well, you know, this tunnel was what led the water through here. I mean,
Yes.
you know that there was a tunnel.
Yes. But still.
Apparently no one else thought of going underground.
I point at the ground that was until recently smoldering. The ground itself wasn't saved, so I'm not sure how the tunnel held. But
It likely didn't. I say, pointing at the water flowing out.
you're in the mansion.
Yeah, and we're probably exiting now, though.
You
Since we
can
said the children.
Once you have the children, all right, everyone, gather up, gather around.
Yes, now you see two more people.
So the robot is still hanging around
Where?
us.
Yeah, Guardians. He
There's
stays
like
really
a
close
young
to Yi.
boy who
Okay.
looks like Taro, who's probably about
Like-
around 6.
And then there's a half-orc girl, probably in her early teens, short black hair, with very simple brown leathers, and a dagger just kind of sitting on her waist.
So you look around. Garjan was standing over there, like trying to eat rocks a minute ago, and now he's standing by Yi, and you don't know how he got there.
Could I figure out how?
Roll Arcana.
I feel like this is more in my
18
wheelhouse.
on the die,
Yes.
which makes it a lot. 28.
That wasn't a spell.
It just blinked, maybe.
Sort of. It stopped existing in one place and started existing in
I
another.
started doing the exact same thing that he did.
Yeah.
25, but this is more in my, like... realm
You
of
get the same
magic.
information. It stopped existing, and it exists here now.
Garjin, how did you do that?
Summer is the season for harvest and Christmas.
Define Christmas.
Christmas, a fictional character made up of millions of writhing worms.
I don't know where it gets this information. I'm quite
Very
curious.
curious to what
I
it
read
is.
that book.
Regardless,
I'd like to meet this person.
there is 1, 2,
Apparently it's
3,
fictional.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's just enough of us. All right. Everyone gather around. Stand immediately around me.
Going to end up in the correct place this time?
Yes,
With the
this is
horses?
teleportation cycle. somewhere around here. They're trying to end up on a random. But please, when you have the capability to
You gather the horses.
transpose up
Okay,
to 9
I got the
individuals through space and time onto a pinprick, let me know.
I will.
And I'll cast teleport, aiming at the teleportation circle in
Yes.
Daventry, which is a
Totally.
1% chance of failure.
I didn't think there was any, but I'll check now that you said something.
I think it's like a 1% chance.
Don't kill us.
Oh, because we've got too many people now.
Yeah, no, you can't fail.
Okay, Phil. Okay.
Shucks. Takes all the fun out of it.
Mostly the only reason I failed last time was because Austin's rolling dice.
Yep.
That's why he rolls the dice.
Yep.
The book tells me to roll the dice,
It's
which
true.
is fantastic. You appear in Daventry.
Okay. So,
Okay.
There's a bunch of horses in the teleportation circle.
why are there horses on the teleportation?
Because Duncan thought to get your horses this time.
I can only teleport myself and 8 other creatures.
I was riding one.
Like it would be the horses.
So you
couldn't
fall.
Come along.
No, they're there anyway.
Okay. The horses were treated as equipment.
Yes.
Yes.
If they're in your gear list.
Well, we're here. I go to the door, open it.
You walk into the keep.
Is there anybody around?
Oh yeah, there are servants and guards.
Grab the nearest one. Excuse me.
Yes, what can I do for you?
We need to speak with Melodious and Tanar. Also, we have a contingent of horses that need stabling. As they point to the horse coming out of the door behind me.
Yes. Yes. Yes, I will arrange. And who shall I inform Tanar is here?
Galadia Alanai and company.
Wait right here. She rushes off. People come pretty quickly to get the horses, and then about 15 minutes later, she returns. Follow me.
I follow.
She walks you out into the courtyard. Around, you see that there's a training ground going on there. A bunch of soldiers are running drills. And you see Tanar walking among them, correcting form, that sort of thing. Ah, you're back.
Indeed we are.
Hello again.
Bring both ill and good tidings.
Well, bad news first.
Ill, there's a dragon roaming the countryside, determined to burn everything to a cinder.
And the good?
We have the staff that would have made it easier.
Well, I'll take that at least. So,
Yay.
you have half of the components needed for the Worldfire spell.
Indeed.
They still have the crystal, though, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Our next task is to acquire the crystal and stop the dragon. Not necessarily in that order.
Preferably in the opposite order.
Indeed.
Trying to approach the gem with the dragon at large becomes exceedingly dangerous.
Indeed.
Can you predict the dragon?
Oh, I could likely very easily summon it to me. We have what it wants.
So you want to lay a trap for the dragon?
That might be the easiest.
That would be the easiest.
Where?
task, yes.
Ideally, someplace where it can't burn down another city.
All the locations I have in mind are places where there are people living. So, up to
A large open field, perhaps?
A large open
No,
field also has
no.
the disadvantage of us being able to be, well, roasted like that town.
You know who absolutely loves either subjugating or defeating dragons? Reg Tier.
Didn't you make that hard for him?
I didn't do a thing to him.
No, but isn't that now difficult for him?
I wouldn't be aware.
Oh, out of character question. Did I recognize the dragon orb?
You weren't there, right?
I was there when Dren.
Yeah, you were there when Dren showed
it off. But like, did I recognize it for what it was, not for somebody else?
You recognize it as a powerful magical artifact.
Okay, so I didn't recognize it for what it was.
But yes, the fact that Dren has it should also make Reg Tier furious.
Oh, is that the thing? Ah,
Well, but that would.
but apparently that's the second bit of
Well,
bad
he would
news.
want to join us to get it back or something.
That's up to you all.
So yes,
I think speaking to Dredgetier and telling him that this dragon rampaging the countryside is the same dragon that has taken his orb would be a good idea.
Just let him know.
I look at Tanar and see what he thinks.
So, you want to get Dredge to ambush the dragon. Are you intending on doing it in his city?
I think he would likely have prime candidates for locations.
He may well. As for the orb, we may have a solution for that.
Indeed.
We have information. Follow me.
I follow.
Follow.
He walks you over to a abandoned archery range where there's no one practicing.
I had to give up private
How have you
sector.
been keeping up, small one?
Just find all would be fascinating, really. You don't seem to get along, but you're, for the most part, but you're working together to save the world, apparently.
Well, we don't want to die.
Common purpose of survival.
Oh yes. By the way, we've picked up a new addition to the group. Let's say indicating the name.
Melodius will be thrilled. He walks over to one of the abandoned archery targets and lifts it up and reveals a staircase and goes down.
Follow that steps.
As you all walk down, you feel your gem grow cold. This is a lead-lined room.
Good.
You see, sitting down there, Melodius sitting at a map. Ah! Tanar! Ah! Welcome, guests. Close door behind you.
Melodius.
I shut the door after everyone is through. Any reason Elrin shouldn't know about this place?
What do you mean Elrin shouldn't know about it?
You very specifically stopped him from communicating here.
Well, lead stops everything.
Except for traditional sources of observation.
Actually, most detect magic spells are stopped by, like,
Yeah, thin sheet
lead.
of lead. But, like, traditional as in a spy who is invisible.
Well,
Doesn't stop magic.
May as well have most of our precautions out
Stops
of the way.
certain magic, not all magic.
stops divination magic, and that's the relevant stuff.
Yep, that's the relevant.
But nonetheless.
The divination stone, not actually a self.
So, I suppose Tanar came to tell you about this, he says, pointing at the map. You see a large number of red marks north of the city of Daventry.
I take it those are dragon attacks.
No. Demons.
Ah.
The Dark Elves have decided that they're going to storm Daventry.
How many demons would it take to kill a dragon? Depends on the demon, I guess.
Yes, and the dragon. Sonara looks over. We expect an attack in the next 3 days. We have insight from Elrin, apparently, warning us that the troops are moving in. They're using these points, Isa's pointing at them, for cover. They intend to lay waste to Daventry, burn it to the ground in 3 days. This gives us one distinct ability that we don't typically have. They have the crystal, and yet their forces are diverted.
If we can distract Dren long enough, we could move into their city, then, is what you're saying.
Into their sanctum.
Yes.
From what I understand, it's at the northern end of the ley line.
Yes.
A natural place for magical power. Also, a very strong current for powerful teleportation magic.
I could certainly travel along the ley line. It is familiar enough that I could theoretically get to any point on it.
Traveling along the ley line is unique in that you could do it with much, much less risk.
Yeah, like that's what I figured. Like, because I am intimately familiar with the ley line, having
Yeah.
lived on it. So technically, the ley line is my target.
Yeah.
It's just
It also
From
magnifies all magic in general.
yeah. I could certainly move a small strike force. I can only teleport up to 8 others at a time, which would be mostly
2,
SS.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He says, pointing at himself and Melodious.
That would be enough. The children would have to stay behind, though.
We're not bringing the children.
I wouldn't imagine we
I
would, but
imagine.
However, there will be a safe place outside of the city for them to stay. Because if we, including the two of you, travel on this mission, Daventry will likely fall. If they decide to
they
attack
take them to the
early.
towers.
Right.
Daventry won't fall. Trust me. However,
We could also teleport them to the elven door.
they will be staying with Lane Tier.
Good.
That's awesome.
Well, I have an amount of faith in them.
Her father will be taking our place here, with allies of his.
Let him know who flies the skies with his precious orb.
They have one dragon. He has dozens. Whatever power this orb holds over the dragons, there are those who are still faithful friends to Dren himself.
I suspect they are, and I suspect he would like to get the orb back nonetheless.
Yes. You shall defend this place well. And you shall attempt to recover the crystal. Simple enough to say, but we can't really plan for what's going to happen on the other side.
Yeah, it's more challenging to do.
I'm sure you won't be able to travel directly to the sanctum. I'm sure it's warded.
Likely. But near enough.
Near enough for the element of surprise.
You'll want these, he says, holding out his hand. He has 6 rings in it.
This sounds like fun.
Take one.
Do I know what this is? What is
It's
this?
a glowing red ruby ring.
Fire resistance.
I identify it.
You start to identify. Correct, Duncan.
Well,
That
if
helps.
he gave it away, then
Natural 20 on my Arcana check, so.
Natural 20 on common sense.
Yeah.
There you go.
Who knows? Could be something else. Well then. That can be changed to something else then.
I would prefer, I suspect, it shall be unnaturally dark within the Dark Elven capital.
Likely, but that leaves 2 of you that need eyes. And I only have 1 stone.
Unfortunately, I have not reawakened that ability yet.
Going on. I imagine that being a bit sturdier would help you there.
Perhaps the Dark Elves are fond of their poisons.
I just cast Shake Water and move some water around and change it to you have proficiency on Constitution saving throws.
Yeah.
All right.
Well then, I have spent many spells in an effort to protect in an effort to extinguish fires. I do require some rest before I can teleport anyone anywhere.
Well, if we're teleporting, we do have 3 days. We'll need to make some preparations.
And you only need 4 hours.
Yes, but I still need 4 hours.
In the meantime, Elwyn also informed us that there is another ally that they have. Some alabaster-skinned woman.
Ah yes, the porcelain lady. She stitches flesh together.
Yes, Elwyn was unfamiliar with her, only was told that she existed.
She seeks to perfect those that she sees as imperfect, and apparently her definition of perfection is a flesh golem that is quite masterfully put together, but...
We've encountered several of her handiwork.
When those golems, they didn't have any bones, right? It was just flesh.
No, they had bones.
Okay, so there's, and in that writing.
The writing didn't have bones.
The writing didn't have bones.
Okay.
But it had flesh and veins and organs.
I will, in
Okay.
explicit detail, describe our encounter with the flesh golems.
You have the keen
Yeah.
9 feet.
Yes, I
Yeah,
do.
so you have photographed.
Right.
It's gruesome to recollect, but it comes back. They look intrigued. Melodious is furiously scribbling. You recognize that Melodious is writing in Gnomish. You didn't know that the big people did that. Also, it occurs to you when you heard the name Garjin, that literally means not broken in Gnomish. Someone's been lying to this robot.
I think the robot's been lying.
To yourself.
Well, so
Also, I put that. That into a memory crystal so that anyone who wants can relive it.
The experience of these golems.
Yeah, I mean, well, from my perspective, it wasn't that bad. I just stood back and threw spells around.
It was bad for me.
It's the memory of the golems specifically from my perspective.
well, we have 3 days, and we will meet at the teleportation circle in the northernmost Elvish Tower.
Well,
Gather supplies. Find what you need.
well,
Meet us there.
imagine.
And with that, we will take a brief break
All right.
and be back shortly.
Break time.
Is it this one? Yes, it is this one. All right. So you guys have 3 days to do things, and
Can
maybe
we hunt down any powerful artifacts also when we're unmuted?
Yes, we are unmuted.
Okay. Can we hunt down any powerful artifacts in 3 days?
Absolutely.
Which
What
one?
kind of artifacts are you going to find?
Okay, so in 3 days, let's teleport to that Death Tyrant's lair, kill it, take whatever magical items it has, then come back.
There's a
Sound good?
plan.
Sound good.
Yeah. I'll try anything twice. As long as I can kill something.
That's me, not Gallagher.
I mean, you could if you really wanted to. If you want to go on that side quest.
It's in this campaign now.
I mean, what challenge rating is a Death Tyrant? It can't be that
15.
bad. Yeah, you're close.
There's 6 of us.
Wait,
We're not doing it.
Death Tyrant? Yeah, make sure.
Do we want
I know these things.
We're not.
to go? It has magical power that might assist us.
Legitimately, its potency and magic might be worth it, but then we also have to fight through the city that it commands.
How bad could that be?
The city of
We can
undead.
teleport.
That's what the Paladin's for.
I'm going to say no.
I'm going to assume that you meant for me to smite evil and not be a meat shield. but-
Exactly.
Oh,
Your righteous,
Yeah,
your
perfect meat shields.
your righteous
I
fury
love
and divine might is the perfect counter to a city full of undead.
Wipe out a whole city of undead.
We have 3 days. If it seems to be going bad, just teleport back.
How long does the teleportation spell take exactly?
10 minutes. Actually, yeah, teleport. The teleport spell, 1 action.
Oh, one action.
Teleportation circle takes longer. Teleport just takes 1 action. Of course, I can only do it once a day. So
Is teleport the one that can possibly, you know...
Mishap, yes.
yes, teleport's the one that can telefrag.
No, I refuse to do this.
Yes, I suspect it may be a potent option, but it's also one of the more dangerous ones.
Very well.
There's a variety of things that you could do with your time. Find artifacts, scout, drink beer.
Well, for now, before you can take us anywhere, and I sort of begin to trace the runes in the air again
Yeah.
as I cast Mordecane's Magnificent Mansion.
Yes, before I can take us anywhere, I need rest for a few hours.
Alright. Can you take a mid-morning nap?
It's been morning trance.
What are the rest of you doing while he is napping?
Oh, toast the day. See what there is to do.
Is it still morning?
Yeah.
Dang.
Teleportation, bruh.
Teleportation is really cool.
Actually, you know what? I will not cast a spell right now because I'll probably need to rest wherever we teleport to.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with just finding a corner to sit in.
You can get a room.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll get a room.
It's free.
Good, because I don't have any money.
In the keep. Cool.
I pull out my tankard and just drink to the day. See what exciting things that could happen today.
Oh no.
Because of something.
Is this Gnomish Inspirational Ale Part 2?
No, it's not. This
even
is
worse.
better.
Alright, you take
Oh yes, Sander doesn't know.
you take a long, hard swig. You know what? You know it'd be really cool. It'd be really cool to go down to the tavern.
Yeah. Sounds good.
There are cool people there.
Okay, let's do that.
Start a fight.
You going down to the tavern?
Head on down.
The alcohol tells him to do stuff.
And he can and makes it so he can do it.
The beer of bad life choices.
Yes, literally,
Exactly.
actually.
We
Yeah.
took it from the Dwarf King after.
After
Well, his
well-
wife wanted him to get rid of it, so she slipped it to us.
After I challenged him to a drinking contest and then used my mug that makes all alcohol that goes into it inert so I don't get drunk. And the mug makes it so he couldn't lose the contest. So I just drank until I was full and then surrendered and he passed out.
So yes.
And you gave it to this guy?
Yeah.
Alright.
Haven't regretted it
I have
yet.
a high
Is anybody following you down to the tavern? Anybody following him?
Or not ye, but Duncan.
Yeah, I said you, not ye. Anybody following Duncan down to the tavern?
I'm resting.
All right.
So what are you doing after the day?
All right. So Duncan, you got into the tavern.
Okay, get out of the tavern.
And there's some raucous laughter going on, and the people here are the drunks, or the adventurers.
Or both.
The drunkish adventurers.
Well, when I say the drunks, I mean the people who don't do anything useful with their lives and just get drunk all the time, as opposed to the adventurers who go pillage, raid, and steal to afford drinking all the time.
All the time. Hang with the adventurers.
As you drink, roll me a Constitution saving throw.
You think?
Yeah.
What do I do about that? Or try to roll?
Add your Constitution saving throw to it.
Oh. Constitution.
You just slowly hear the mug in your mind begin to
Wait a minute.
chant.
Okay, so any Constitution.
Fine.
That's right.
Don't worry, I can use lay on
Wait.
hands to end inebriation.
Just
12.
because it would have been funny if I had been told that he was going to a tavern, I would hand you a pepper and say, "Eat this when you think you should."
No. Anyway, a 12.
Okay. They roll pretty poorly, so.
Okay.
Or we have to cast the spell when you do that.
On the pepper.
They're
Like, then you have to-
they're drinking. They're drinking. They start talking about things, and then one of them begins talking about their last outing, and he begins talking about this tomb to this crazy dead guy that they found, and it holds the secrets of the universe, but they were so thwarted because there was this crazy lady there, and she was totally just wrecking everything. And like, there was so much treasure, but like, she was just in the way all the time. And they're like, "Hey, you look like you know how to hold your drink. Have you ever held a sword before?"
I pull out my sword.
"Yeah, that's the ticket. Do you know how to beat a lady senseless?"
Figuratively or literally?
You know what? Both of them work. This chick, she's like major trouble, and she don't look like it. Like, she's so totally, like, she's naked and everything. It's like really hot.
Oh, it's the porcelain girl.
And like, she's totally hot and everything, but she's
If I
crazy.
describe her and just ask if this was her.
There's so many levels of drunk, and so are you. You're not describing anything practically.
Okay. Well, I mean.
Yeah, but no, you figure it out pretty quick.
Like it, yeah.
Like, she's after some sort of treasure there, and she's all up in the way.
3 days.
And we just, like, we kept poking her with our sticks, and she kept not having any of it, man. It was so crazy.
Wow. Sounds like a trip.
Yeah, like, we might go back.
Where was that? Yeah, where was it?
It was like that way.
Okay.
You know where the shipwreck of Titus was?
Vaguely, do I?
You have no idea where the shipwreck of Titus was.
So let's go ahead and say yeah.
But your beer mug does.
Oh, okay.
You hear it, "Oh man, I've heard about that. It's like this spooky haunted ship, but like it delved into something, and it went into caverns. It's crazy. We should totally check this out." Man, but yeah, no. Hey,
That sounds more stoned than drunk.
Yeah.
I'm not good at being drunk.
Hey, you don't know what they're serving at this tavern.
Yes, you are when you're like passing out.
So the trick
Having seizures.
the trick to being
Maybe they're
drunk
both.
the trick to being drunk is that nobody else knows you're drunk.
I have no clue. Anyway,
You see me when I'm drunk, Austin.
like all of twice it's happened.
But the trick to being drunk is that you think you've got it under under control.
Okay.
You-
Well, apparently they're also they're also smoking stuff. They're smoking that medieval weed,
Which is just weed. They had it back then too.
the prehistoric weed, which is still just weed.
Which is still just weed.
Thistle roots.
We had it growing in fields in Rome.
So,
Yes.
you know what else I heard?
What did you heard?
I heard that there's this like Duchess lady, and she's like, and then they start going on to like gossip
Keep going on with
nonsense.
Stuff. Okay.
Your beer mug
Alright.
gets bored. Hey,
What?
hey! You see that guy? His right cheek? I bet he's got a glass jaw.
You slowly hear in the back of your mind the mug going, fight.
Hey!
What?
Come on, glass jaw. Glass jaw.
That guy?
Yeah!
That guy?
Yeah! Come on!
Like, what is it look like? Look real big?
Oh, he's a giant. He's a Goliath.
Okay, so it'd be a cool knock.
Is it ye?
No.
Okay.
Come on! Fisticuffs or bust.
I would be able to roll a sense motive, and on that sense motive, I would use lay on hands to cure his inebriation.
That's not the problem.
Yeah.
Wisdom saving throw.
You can't cure this inebriation.
Not until later.
No, you can't cure this inebriation.
It's an effect of the artifact.
Oh, it's an artifact effect, not just a spell effect?
Yeah.
It's an art. Yeah. That's it.
So even my ability to can end a spell effect doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Roll me a wisdom saving throw unless you just want to go punch him.
It's part of how a sentient magic
How do I do
item can
wisdom?
make you do what it wants you to do.
18.
You don't have to go punch him if you don't want to.
Okay.
But do you want to?
Nah, I don't think so.
Oh, come on.
Does he look drunk? Does he look like? Is it
Everyone here is drunk.
Plastered?
Everyone here is
It's early
wasted.
morning.
Yes. It's late morning by now.
And these guys are all just hanging around.
Yeah.
I go over to his table and start talking to him.
He looks at you.
Mine's been cut.
You remind me of my ex-wife.
How's that?
Well, you got this eyeball in your socket, like
I
you
got two of
do, and then you got, and then there's three of you,
Yeah.
just like
This one's apparently been drinking propofol.
Sorry.
this. Yeah, there's three of you.
Sense motive. Is he? Is he?
He's drunk. Yeah.
I know he's drunk, but I mean, does he have any intentions of anything?
Insight
In-
check.
Insight check? Yeah.
Sure, roll me insight.
Is there a reason he's saying you look like his ex-wife?
Because you've got eyes, apparently.
10.
Yeah.
He's got the good stuff.
What? He's just
Like,
wasted.
Like you smell his drink. This guy's got absinthe,
Okay.
so he's
just plowing.
He's beyond hammered.
He's not just hammered, he's also hallucinogenic.
So he doesn't know.
He would have disadvantage trying to hit you in a fist fight.
Austin now, not the cup, continues to go.
Let's see.
No, the cup is helping him make perception checks to notice these things.
I mean, hey. What fun is the game if we can't bail you out of a bar fight every once in a while?
The fact that none of us would, except for you.
To be fair, would you really need it?
He really wouldn't.
No, not with that cup.
Actually, correction. The other people in the bar would need it.
What you do?
You know, it's been kind of boring the last few days.
You gotta slug this guy. Roll me an attack with advantage because he's not expecting it.
And you've got the mug on your side.
No, I'm gonna you know, act a little tipsy and then knock his beer over.
His absinthe.
Yeah.
He's drinking absinthe out of a beer mug, by the
Well,
way.
whatever. I just knock it over.
Uncultured swine!
I just knock it over on the floor. See what he does.
He's trying to incite violence.
That was my drink. You need
It
to
was.
buy me another one.
Well, I don't seem to have any cash.
You're gonna buy me. Give me your drink then. He says, reaching for your. He tries to. He tries to grab your mug.
I move it away.
You're playing with a Goliath.
He tries to grab it again. Roll me opposed. Roll me a dexterity saving throw. He's gonna have some disadvantage to try to grab it because he's grabbing at 1 of 3.
In that case, wouldn't it be a percentile roll? 30% chance to get the right one.
15.
He clumsily reaches at it. Give me the beer. He takes a swing at you.
Okay.
What's your AC?
19.
Nope. He swings at you and just massively goes over.
Okay. Actually, it'd be 18. So I'm not using shield.
Still.
Yeah, 18. Okay. so he's
Now it's
I go ahead and
Now you
I go ahead and pop on one.
Roll me an attack.
See how fast that
Natural one. Start. Am I still...
A natural 1?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna roll some percentile because you've got a mug.
Did he have advantage? Did he have advantage on the attack now?
Hold on 1 second.
No, the mug just has something else to do.
The mug might be
The mug got a chance of turning that natural 1 into a natural 20.
Natural 20 on the dice roll.
So you miss, like, with your fist, but somehow, like, you trip, and as you stand up, you, like, clock this dude in the face with the mug. Roll me a d6. Ow.
6.
Ow!
Apparently he did have a glass jaw.
What's your strength score?
20.
So you get a plus 5. So that's 6 damage automatically?
Yep.
You clock this dude in the head and you just stone cold knock him out.
You did have a glass jaw.
Or he rolled a one hit KO on the percentile and then it was headshot.
Oops. I looked down on the floor and looked around to see what everyone else is doing.
Somebody shouts, "Bar fight!" and breaks a chair leg off and just starts going at it.
Congratulations, you started a bar fight.
It wasn't hard. They wanted it.
they were looking for something to do.
So did the mug.
The mug really wanted it.
The mug made it happen.
I'm going to slip over toward the door and just see what everybody else does. While I
You're just going to watch?
walk over there.
The mug doesn't want you to. Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Where's my thing again? 16.
The mug doesn't want you to, but you watching seems partially acceptable.
Yeah, I'm just gonna just see how it gets started first.
Well, it starts with that dude ripped off a table leg, and the bartender's like, "I lose chairs every week like that," and so he hurls the chair leg at the bartender and clocks him square in the nose. And then knocks him out, and then he stands there startled for a second. "Free beer!" he shouts, and he goes to dive over the table, dives over the bar.
I gotta go tackle him.
So he tries to dive over the bar, and you tackle him onto the bar. Roll me an attack roll disadvantage.
It's when like a wizard comes up and just puts a wall of force in the doorway and leaves.
That was my.
So the last person to try to
It's the same as your it's the same as your regular attack roll. Proficiency bonus for plus strength, so it'll be plus 10.
Okay, so 15.
Yeah, you hit this guy. He's not wearing armor.
Okay.
And the damage is just strength plus 1. The strength modifier plus 1, so 6 damage.
6, okay.
You knock him into the bar. Roll me your second attack.
13.
Still hit.
Rolling terrible.
Roll your third attack.
Natural 20.
Roll me a d6.
D6. 3.
All right. You grab him by the left arm and just swing him, and you hear a pop sound as his arm dislocates. And he slams into the bar and falls on the ground unconscious. At this point, they've seen you take out 2 people, and so there's like a horde of people charging at you.
Okay.
Let's see if what's your 18 AC?
18, yeah.
Duncan needed an episode.
Duncan got an episode.
Hold on.
This is the Duncan Hour on Worldfire, where Duncan goes and wrecks shit in the bar.
4 people all punch you. You take 2 damage from each one.
Okay.
Takes damage.
Okay. If that even this isn't even starting yet.
Duncan, the really should have been a barbarian.
He knows exactly where it hit them.
He's not a barbarian?
No, he's a fighter.
No, I'm
Fighter.
not a
I
barbarian.
always thought you were a
No, I'm
barbarian.
just a fighter.
Okay.
He's a fighter.
Learn something new.
Okay, I'm just gonna.
He doesn't need to enter a rage. He is rage.
No, he doesn't enter a rage because he's just having fun the whole time.
Yeah, I'm just boxing at this point. I'm not even gonna try to use my.
Alright.
I'm just okay. Just 4 of them.
Four.
I'm just gonna go around the line.
There's 8 of them on you, but 4 of them missed.
Oh, okay.
Alright, just go around the line.
Yeah, just gonna one punch each and then hit.
Alright, the mug likes your style.
Yeah. Okay.
Roll with advantage.
And that one.
Roll with advantage. That might have been a crit.
That's a 27.
But it might have been a crit.
Okay, whatever. We'll try that.
Pivoting.
Okay. 27.
Okay, so roll me your next attack.
Oh, what? Okay, next attack
Yeah.
is
This killer punch doesn't do much.
22.
With advantage, because it might have been a crit.
20.
It's like, you
27
got it.
again.
Roll again.
Yeah.
Apparently, I
Don't
can't
you crit on-
manage, like,
No, you crit on
24.
18.
18.
Never mind.
I don't have 17. So roll 17 so far. So 24.
Yeah.
Sometime I could
You hit.
probably
And then the kick is going to be
It's all about the rotation of your back.
do- I think it was
19.
That's a crit.
That's a critical. On the
Confirm.
boot.
Roll a d6.
A d6.
Yeah.
5.
It's like that stage of
All right.
manipulation.
So, like, you just swing the mug out and you clock 3 of the people in the head and knock them back. And then you just lift your foot and you Sparta kick this guy into a table and it cracks under his weight. The other 4 people...
What is it with Daventry and losing tables?
Daventry's a bad place to be if you're a table. The other 3 all drunkenly swing at you and miss.
Wrencham would not like it here.
No.
We had a when we did
Roll me your next set of attacks.
Lost Minds of
Next set of
Fendelva, one
attacks.
of our players was a barbarian who liked to jump up on tables.
16.
Tables never
Yes.
sustain his weight. So jump on table breaks.
Is it 13 hit?
Yes.
Okay. So 20 hits. And then my kick is a
Tables in general in D&D don't
15.
last very long.
Yeah, 15 on the kick.
You repeat the same and you just start bodily throwing people and they're all unconscious.
There is
Yeah.
a consistent
Sudden-
table that
It's
exists
just
all the
simple.
time and never breaks.
Suddenly you realize that you're out of people to knock out.
I kind of want to play it.
I go around the back of the bar, make sure
Because
the
if
bartender's
a
okay.
fighter, if a melee
See,
guy is throwing someone into a table,
But
the
put
wizard
Coral
is
Beer
using
on
the
it,
table.
wake
as
him
a
up.
Roll me a medicine check.
Okay.
You know, probably if you start, that's good. It'll leave all the
11.
tables on your shit.
So this bartender is very poorly pretending to be unconscious to avoid being in a bar fight.
I pour
doesn't
some
like
beer
that.
on him and then walk out. Walk out from behind the bar.
He's still pretending to be unconscious. He saw what you did.
Now the question is, will Duncan remember any of the information he gathered?
Now the beer mug's like, oh, Daventry's got so many pubs.
I retire.
Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, this is the problem. 14.
Yeah, you retire for the moment.
Put the mug away.
Yeah, stow it away. Go look for second breakfast.
And
You-
I think the general reactions to the mug for the rest of the party was Faust going, no, and me going, not even giving it the chance or the time of day.
All right. So you properly get a peaceful breakfast. What are the rest of you doing?
Resting for 4 hours.
Okay. Torel?
Just gonna go out into the town. Just explore a little bit.
After a little bit, you hear about this really epic bar fight that happened.
Faust is probably walking with her.
Looking for anything in particular?
Just wandering right now, seeing what they have.
Rich section or poor section?
Rich section.
Ah. The way you're dressed, everybody's receiving you well. They're giving you the best treatment. They assume you've got some money with the clothes and jewelry you're wearing. So you are getting the full like almost royalty type
You
treatment.
said Faust is with her?
And like there's a lot of respect because you are likewise dressed very fantastically.
If intimidating.
I mean, yes, but fantastically. Like, are you window shopping or are you going into stores?
What stores do they have there? Like, what are options?
There's apparel stores, jewelry stores, though nothing they've got compares to the dwarven jewelry and elvish clothes you've got.
Mm-hmm.
There's a variety of fine establishments for gambling, eating. There's a variety of entertainment type places.
Is there anywhere that would have like any sort of ancient artifacts or stuff?
I mean, ancient artifacts are us isn't really a place. There's a curio shop that has like magical curiosities in it.
I'll go look in there.
All right. You step inside, and
Have we gained any money since we spent stuff last time?
Yeah,
How much?
I don't remember. I don't know how much money I have. I don't know how much you have.
John gathered a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Did you share?
Yeah,
How much was it?
He bought the horses. Oh, it was.
I bought the horses. I don't remember how much I handed out.
It was
I
like
keep track of my own.
it was a couple hundred.
Okay. No, I know I forgot to write something down.
I have 890 gold, and I know that was just what I had after. So
I've got 262 written down. So
Yeah, probably about 200.
Okay. That works.
You walk in. There is an elderly gentleman, very, very well dressed, well trimmed beard. There's a small number of items, but they're grandiosely displayed. Everything from sticks that are claimed to be wands, potions, to a couple particularly strange items. There are 3 items that catch your eye. There's one that's a necklace with a scarab beetle on it. It looks like it was an actual scarab beetle that's been dried and preserved. There's another that is a belt. A very ornate looking belt. And finally, there is a cloak with a hood. It's a deep velvet green.
Cloak, velvet, kind.
She's gonna look at the scarab necklace first.
Ah, I see you're a woman of impeccable taste, says the owner, walking over. This scarab necklace was found by the ancient dwarves from the other continent. They created it to channel their powers through. It imbues the nature of the harsh desert combined with the stubbornness of the dwarves.
Necklace of dwarven kind.
Might I inspect it for a moment?
You may look, but don't touch.
Yeah, what actually is the component of
Identify.
identify?
Identify. Do you have it prepared, or is it a ritual
It's a
spell?
ritual spell.
Takes 10 minutes to
I know it does.
cast.
Identify.
Uh,
You must touch throughout the casting of the spell.
throughout the casting, so for the entire 10 minutes. Or 11 minutes, actually, because it's so.
A pearl worth at least 100 gold in an owl feather. Pearl, you must touch to the item.
I will let you cast the spell from a distance, but you'll have to make a spellcasting check for it to succeed.
Okay, I will do that.
It takes 10 minutes.
Yes.
18 plus my charisma mod is 23.
Alright.
So it's
Right.
like an arcane circle appears in front of you and you start moving it around. And
The proprietor allows it. So this scarab will increase your constitution.
Use that.
I use that too.
Well, it doesn't increase it directly. What it will do is it'll give you 1 hit point per level and grant you proficiency in constitution saving throws.
Really use that.
I can also use that.
I have so few hit points from my con is
I have
0.
67 hit points.
You're slightly less than I do. And you're also much more likely to be away from combat than I am.
It's true.
How much is the necklace?
I have a better
1,000
con
gold.
What would you say to a trade of? What would you say to a trade of similar magic item?
I might be intrigued.
I pull the skull amulet.
Allow me to see. Intriguing. There's a very specific market for items of this kind. You realize, though, it's difficult to sell simply in a store, but I may have means. With the trade of this item, I will allow this to go for 400.
Still a bit expensive. Still. Keep the amulet on the table as we peruse.
Very well.
I take it back.
What were the other 2 items you said?
There was a ornately made belt and then a cloak with a hood.
Alright, I'll look at the belt next.
All right. You see the belt.
If he allows, I'll do the same for the other 2 items.
Okay. He won't stop
take a
you.
spell slot with a ritual cast.
Yeah. So the cloak, I'm going to roll the spellcaster check.
13 plus 5 is 18.
All right. You investigate the cloak. It appears to be a cloak designed to protect one from the elements. Wearing this cloak, you will take half elemental damage.
Of elemental type damage?
Elemental type damage.
And then the belt. That is a 21.
This is a belt of masculinity and femininity.
I know this item.
It's the gender
amusing.
change belt, or it's the sex change belt.
Oh.
Not gender change. Well, yeah. Sex change belt.
That is an amusing magical item, to say the least.
We should give it to the Paladin.
We should.
You think I'm that gullible?
What are you referring
Also,
to?
that's a tune.
Are you referring to the belt of persuasive nature?
You go around the corner and change yourself.
See, I actually don't know if I just failed to identify it or not. I legitimately don't know. I can try again later, but...
So what does it do?
It makes you more persuasive to certain individuals.
Have you
No,
used
you
it
identified it
before?
correctly.
Myself personally, no. I do not peruse my own wares. I keep them only in the most pristine condition.
How much is the belt?
The belt, I could allow to go for 500.
Which would be roughly equivalent trade with the amulet.
I suppose I could trade it for the amulet.
And how much for the cloak?
Oh, the cloak is a very powerful item.
Resistance to fire, acid, lightning.
That would be as the scarab necklace, a full 1,000.
Yeah. I think the belt would be entertaining.
I agree.
I'll trade the amulet for the belt.
Very well. He takes the amulet, opens the case, and hands you the belt.
Now ritual cast.
Now I ritual cast identify it now that I'm touching it so they can't fail.
Okay. You've already identified it, so.
It's definitely the belt of masculinity and femininity.
Roll me spellcasting check.
It's so much
It's a
fun.
natural 20.
As far as you know, this is definitely a belt of masculinity and femininity.
I'm so excited.
So much fun.
Do I know based on the identification whether or not this is able to be removed?
It's a cursed item.
Yeah, it's definitely
That's
cursed. Yeah,
part of the reason, even when you're touching, you had to roll to check because
it's cursed, yeah. Oh, I'm so excited.
You want to use it on the Paladin?
I very much do. I think it would be quite amusing. Even if it wouldn't last
You
very long.
really think I'm that gullible?
I'm fairly certain he has the ability to remove curses, but it'd be entertaining for a few moments.
It would.
Do you really think I'm that gullible?
Doesn't matter how gullible I am, or how gullible you are.
Also, you're not there.
It matters how stealthy you are, of course.
All right, so you went out and you bought a belt of masculine femininity. You're resting. What are you doing, Rudy?
I'm probably.
You are in the hub city of the humans.
I'll probably look around, find out where things are.
All right, there's a very clear division between the rich section of town and the poor section of town. Are you sticking mainly to one or the other, or are you just sort of wandering?
Mostly the poor for now.
Good, because you don't fit in well in the rich section of town. They look down on you and look at your clothes and like you're still a little damp.
I mean, it'd be very hard for them to look up at him.
The poor section of town, you find this is where the labor, like, from what you can tell, it looks like the people in the rich section of town don't really do much. Like, there's a lot of people who are just wandering the streets and doing things, and the poor section of town is full of people actually doing jobs and working to make money. The streets are a lot less full. There's men working, there's women working, and the rich section of town, it's only men working. All the women are, walking around and gossiping and doing things. Is there anything in particular looking for? Or are you trying to get a gauge of the city?
I'm trying to get a gauge of the city.
Go ahead and roll me insight, and you have advantage because this is sort of what you do. Don't forget you roll twice and take the better.
Hey!
18.
So you surmise that this is a city where the rich abuse their position to live off the spoils of the poor. It's less overt than the sort of like direct taxation of the poor, but there seems to be some sort of weird credit system where the rich can get things without paying money from the poor. You're not exactly sure how it works, but there's not a lot of social mobility either. It seems like your strict raw definition of a social locked society. It has a sort of unspoken caste system where if you're poor, you're expected to let the rich people do whatever they want.
So this is how the humans work.
So it seems barbaric.
The high elf agrees.
Well, after a while, I'm gonna go get some digging supplies.
I'm gonna get a shovel.
All right, you walk into a local store, like a general store. It's being run by a weary-looking human woman. Welcome. What can I be of assistance to you?
Looking for a shovel.
Are you looking for a gardening spade or something to dig a pit with, like an undertaker shovel?
Yes. No.
Both.
Do you have a body to bury?
Nope.
Just a hole to dig.
Not yet.
Sure, whatever you say, dearie. Over there. They do have a couple shovels sized for smaller people. It's just
like the gardening spade might have been big enough for you, actually.
That's true.
It's basically a wooden pole with a flat, sharpened wooden head. It's all one piece. It's sturdy. It's made well enough.
I'm guessing there's pickaxes around here too.
Yeah.
I'll grab one of those too.
The pickaxe is less a traditional pickaxe and more a stout piece of wood with a sharpened rock on it.
That'll have to do. So I take it over to.
She looks at the whole thing. 5 silver.
I give her the money. Okay.
Very well. Go bury your bodies.
Berries are buying with a pickaxe.
They're your buddies? What?
Berries are buying with a pickaxe.
She doesn't know. She doesn't care. This is not the best part of town.
I mean, hey, now we can go look to upgrade the diamond tools. That should help us in the fight.
No, we have to actually dig for the diamond tools first, though.
All right, E, what are you doing?
I mean, that's the first step.
No, the first step is punching down a tree.
I mean, when you already have the pickaxe, you don't need to punch down the tree.
All right, Zachary. To where do you go?
Sure, dice being dropped everywhere.
Where's the paladin going? Does the paladin feel safe anywhere?
He shouldn't feel safe anywhere.
I'm not going to.
I feel safe when I'm not within range of you.
How do you know
So
you're not within range of me?
I prefer to believe that I'm not. Until I am disproven, I am okay with that explanation. When I am disproven, I'll be dead and I won't care.
Do you feel safe within range of me?
No, because you're a psychopath.
She's a sociopath at this point. She's not a psychopath yet.
I'm a sociopath.
It really is.
I'm a sociopath.
All right. So, Yi.
I'm the best in this.
So there's the rich section, the poor section, and all that?
Yes.
You get in tandem and parallel.
There's not a middle class here.
Yeah. Right, I used lay on hands so that I wouldn't,
Die.
be bleeding and burned and everything.
Yeah.
You
still look pretty rough.
You laid on hands. You didn't lay on enough hands, though. It's the problem.
Like, it looks like it happened 3 days ago.
It's close to 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably was about 3 hours ago, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Ow.
You still feel the phantom pain of the salt of the sea salt.
Oh, it's not phantom pain.
It's like you healed yourself, but bits of sea salt was trapped under the new skin, so it's still there and itching.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I'm just going to try to rest off the wounds for right now.
All right, you rest.
And try to get back some spells as well.
You take a short rest.
Okay. So everybody will be reconvening mid-afternoon. And I think that's where we'll pick up next time. It seems like a good stopping point.
Sounds good to me. Say bye, everybody.
Bye.
Good.
Farewell.